Welcome to the continued podcast adventures of Super Hero Speak.
But I think many of the people that love this character and that love superheroes in general have used these stories as inspiration to say, you know what, I'm going to do something good in the world. I'm going to make a difference like my hero when I was a kid.
That is my fondest memory of it, because when you're doing comic books, you want them to affect people, right? You want people to care. You want to strike emotions, and I knew that Clone Saga was striking a lot of emotions.
Can you imagine Pulp Fiction starring Goofy and Mickey Mouse?
I can totally imagine that.
I'm sure somebody's written that one
quarter
too.
pounder with cheese and France, Mickey. What? Boy, ale with cheese, Mickey. Yeah, I can totally.
See?
I would watch the hell out of that movie.
Yes, I gladly sacrifice that my progeny to you, almighty Marvel beast.
But Neil Adams is somewhere going, it's my time.
How do you measure success? Hey everyone, and welcome to Super Hero Speak. I'm your host, Dave.
I'm John.
I'm JD.
And
I'm Don. I just went with it.
Wait, what? Hold on.
I got to fill 2 spots tonight.
Yeah, so we're absent JD. He had family issues. Let's leave it at that. And apparently he's getting yelled at by his wife. Anyway, and I may have made it worse.
You were good at that.
Yeah, so obviously, we can't just leave it at that. We got to have... Sorry, my cat is driving me nuts. We have to have our good friends fill in. And we have, of course, 8-Bit Ray from the Gorilla Brain podcast.
This episode is cursed. Cursed, I tell you.
It's a good thing that the subject of the talk today is good at uncursing things.
Yes, it's Constantine, according to Old Man Grady over here, but it's Constantine to us.
And I don't know if I want to say the host of Omega Level Nerds or just our good friend D Square.
Well, you could just say your good friend Don at this point. I mean, yeah, if I feel motivated to do a podcast, I'll do it. But, life changed, a lot busier at work, at home with the wife, no longer a stay-at-home mom. So, if I feel compelled enough, I'll do it. So you can still say help.
It took 8-Bit Ray to come on the show for Don to be like, all right.
Yeah, that's right.
I'll do it. Ray's coming. I'm doing it.
Hey, you're both welcome anytime. So,
and actually, let's be completely honest. This was JD's idea. He's like, let's talk Constantine.
It was
because
Ray's idea, by the way.
Sorry. It was. Well, yeah, you did say that before, but you guys talked about on your podcast. We talked about the sequel coming up for this movie. So he's like, let's get the guys on and let's do Constantine. And then last minute, JD bailed on us. So.
Because the episode is cursed. You don't believe me. All right, I'm going to bring up the proof right now.
Oh, okay.
No.
So what's the topic today, Dave?
Constantine.
I present to you Exhibit A. This is a Constantine statue that my cat knocked over last night.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. He's headless and armless.
And legless and footless. This episode is freaking cursed.
Now I'm starting to be a believer.
Of all nights to break my shit, the cat decides, he's going to be talking about Constantine. Let's break the fucking statue.
Cats are assholes.
Yes, they are.
Doesn't he know that his job is to try to kill you, not to break your toys? Well, I mean, that's just a side benefit, I guess.
Okay, so there are only 2 Constantine statues that exist officially, right? This is one of them. This is the new 52 one. So I'm not too heartbroken because my other one is fun.
Let's put it in the crosshairs.
Yeah, exactly.
This big daddy of the Hellblazer. Now that's a beauty right there. Look at that thing. This thing weighs like 12 pounds, I swear to God. That's the baby right there. I'm glad she didn't smash this one because I'd have been devastated.
You're gonna put that in a safe now, right?
Put it next to my guns. Just put it in the gun safe.
There you go.
Well, Constantine is about as dangerous,
so that's why I believe this episode is cursed. JD's out. John is somehow crazy in a good mood, which freaks me the fuck out. This is how I know it's off the rails already.
It is.
He's like, fuck
strange.
the bourbon. I am drinking rum tonight, gentlemen. How are you?
Isn't life wonderful?
There's LSD in that rum, isn't there?
Either he got a promotion, a big raise, or he got laid.
Or he got fired.
Valid point. But no. But yeah, that would have worked. with the way they've been treating me. Yeah. No, I just had a very nice date today with a very beautiful and intelligent and wonderful woman. That's all.
So I was right.
Yep.
All right,
you
so
got laid.
A date, Dave.
Right.
And a gentleman does not kiss and tell.
We're
So-
not gentlemen here.
What I
Have
was
you
about to
met
say,
us?
there's no gentleman in this room.
Not even close.
Well, I am as long as this is affecting me. So I'm going to take another sip.
The longer we run the episode, Dave, the more he's going to drink and he's going to spill the details. So
Oh, there
stay
you
tuned,
go.
everybody. He's going to let it all out.
There's no details. This was
All
a
right.
first date, guys. So
All right. So
What does that mean in 2020?
2 more to go. 2 more to go.
no.
besides your cat breaking your statue, Ray, how are you doing? Anything you want to share?
No. Yeah, I recently did an episode with JD and we talked for like almost 2 hours, right?
Yes.
About Dr. Sleep and The Shining. And it was probably my favorite episode. And I was going to wait to tell him, but he's not here. So JD, when you eventually listen to this, it is now officially the most downloaded episode that I've ever done.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
Awesome.
So thank you for that, JD. It was a good conversation. Hope to have more in the future, but he's not here to celebrate. So I'm going to do it for him.
How about you, Don? How's life in your world?
Life in my world is busy, of course, as we record this. It is officially Hallows Eve,
Yeah.
and we carved pumpkins tonight, so that was cool. But I messed up on the witch, so we had to get some toothpicks involved. But it looks good, nice and fun, and that's really about it. And I'm fighting some leg pain because I'm fucking old. Not as old as Randy thinks I am, but I am on the plus side of 40.
When you waiting to get to my age.
Right.
Yeah. Then you get the title Old Man Grady.
Well, that's why. See, this is why we wish I lived in a galaxy far, far away where they could just lob off and give me a cybernetic, and we're good to go.
Couldn't they just
No,
put you in a
that's-
bantha tank? I mean, that worked for Boba Fett.
You know
Back-
what? You're
back tank.
probably a back to tank, or
They ain't got to chop nothing off, brother.
I don't know. People are basically immortal in that universe as long as somebody can get them to one of those robo guys. That
I always
just,
I always
Yeah.
like to think, did Luke have like phantom limb pain with that hand?
had to.
Had to.
Well, he probably the cybernetics are so good it probably transmitted normal pain and feelings.
Well,
so
yeah, don't you
no
remember
phantom.
at the end of A New Hope when they put the hand? I'm sorry, Empire Strikes Back. When they put the hand on him, they pricks the
Yeah.
fingers, and you see
Yeah.
him move the fingers, like show he has feeling as well. It's
Yep.
not just a cybernetic hand. It's
I
know.
wish they'd get on that.
I'm ready for my Terminator body.
Yeah.
You guys not
Like-
watching Andor, by the way? Is like that is a
I've-
silently great show.
I've
That is
heard it's
too bad.
amazing. Yeah.
It is. I mean, it's totally kind of not Star Wars, but it's Star Wars. So nobody's talking about it, but it is a great show. So we're just talking Star Wars. Had to get in there.
No, I'll
Get 'em where I
try to
fit in.
catch up to it. But
So John, besides your wonderful date, how are you doing?
yeah,
Yeah,
There we
Yeah.
go. That's
Man.
normal.
that's John.
yeah.
How's your lower half doing, John? You feeling okay? Knees okay? Feet okay?
I have-
Everything okay?
Everything's okay.
Actually, you know what? I haven't asked you in a while.
Way.
How is your leg? Because you were having problems with your calf a while ago.
Yeah, it's still like I'm in the process of losing more weight. I'm down like 7 or 8 pounds now. I got to get another 10 pounds and then I think I can start running again. But yeah, it's my
how's your
Rum
back
doesn't
pain,
help
John?
that.
How's your back pain?
nothing.
Nothing.
It's
wow.
gone.
From carrying this show? Wow, I'm surprised. You're paralyzed at this point.
Nice. That's why I go to a chiropractor. That's why we do the show on a Sunday night, and every Monday afternoon I have a chiropractor appointment.
There it is. He drinks the pain away, guys. It's not because we cover awful shit. It's because he has the weight of the world
Oh
on
my
his shoulders.
God! You know,
Hey, don't knock it because it works.
with friends like you, who needs enemies?
Or
Exactly.
enemas.
At this point, I'll take the enema. I'm lonely.
Oh my God! Are you Ray? Are you
No,
that lonely? I don't think I would ever be that lonely.
well, we'll see. We'll ask the Walmart cashier on Friday then.
So
Oh, I meant for the enema. I need somebody to give it to me. I'm not going to give myself an enema. Jesus.
Just imagine being that person. You already work at Walmart, and some guy comes up and asks, "Hey, would you personally give me this enema?"
And at the pharmacy, I think they have to, right? Because they give out COVID shots and everything else. I mean, they got to give me the enema if I ask, right? I mean, all of you guys are at the age that you've had your prostate exams, right?
No, that's not till. Oh, well, no.
Why
that's
did you
not
not,
till
John?
50.
Why
I
did you
am,
not?
Yeah.
John, you did?
Yeah.
How was it?
A gentleman does not kiss and
Okay, well, you know what? I'm going to let you guys in a little secret. My doctor doesn't do that because you can get a blood test for that now.
No, they still.
Why would you ruin the
So
fun?
some just do it for fun.
Yeah.
What the hell is the point of living to 40 if you don't get a tube up your ass? Come on, Dave.
I prefer the blood test. Sorry.
Okay.
Listen, I've had like 6 family members in the past year die from some form of cancer. He can be all up in my colon. I just don't want to go that way.
There's a sound.
So
bite.
whatever. Right.
Well, I, and I get that because my mother is fighting breast cancer for the second time now.
Yeah.
And in her 70s this time. She beat it 25 years ago, and now she's going through it again. She just had the operation, everything went fine. Now she's doing the radiation. So, they can't. You don't mess with cancer. When you get older, you take precautions. That's just what you do.
Yeah, my grandfather did, and they got it out, and that was good. Good thing he got that tube up his ass.
Yep.
At 60-something years old, he got a tube up his ass. Applause, sir.
It's funny. There's been 2 family members who died of cancer in my family. The one was my grandmother, my mother's mother. It was melanoma, skin cancer.
Yeah.
And she was in her 30s when she passed away.
Yikes.
My mom was 15 when she passed away, and then the other was my father's mother, who had cancer in her woman parts, her ovaries.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. But it's funny because that was at a time when they didn't really do anything. You just kind of got cancer and died in the 80s, early 80s. So, but that's something that now you talk to women, it's very treatable. And it's just funny how science has changed so much.
You know what doesn't get cancer? Robot parts.
Oh, well, there you go. It all goes back to the robot. I can't wait to get my robot parts.
That's what I'm saying, man. I can get an extender, No more complaints from the ladies.
Things only men would think
I've
of.
never had that problem. All right.
I have.
So, other than that, I'm doing all right. No one asked. No one cares. I get it.
I care, Dave.
No,
but you told me how you were doing yesterday, and I responded with something even worse that made your day better. You're welcome, sir.
Every time I ask you how you're doing, it's just, oh, my girlfriend and I were just, and I'm like, nope, that's it. That's all I need. You're still with your girlfriend. That's all I care about.
Dave thought he was having the worst day ever, and then he hears my story and he goes, oh, shit.
We've been dating for a year, and we had our first, I wouldn't even call it a fight. We just had our first.
You had a bicker. You had a bicker.
Yeah. And so, and it was a mixture of things. She was having a bad day, and my family does a Pollyanna, and they asked her to be a part of it, and she didn't really want to. She's not comfortable with it, and because she hates Christmas.
She's Jewish?
What?
Is she Jewish?
No, she's Catholic like me. So
okay.
So basically, that's what part of it was about. And she was just she's like, and I'm like, fine. If you feel that way, then don't come. And she didn't. Yeah,
that won't be the last time.
No, it won't be. So.
You're not doing it right if you don't have a fight or two. I mean, these people that say, "Oh yeah, we've never had a fight." You don't really have a relationship if you don't care that deeply about.
I'm saying, and we talked about it today. We're fine now.
Yeah.
So
that's the way it should work.
Exactly. I mean, a year. I think that's pretty good.
Yeah.
We had
you have one a year. That's pretty good.
There you go.
Yeah.
I'll take that.
There it is. And it only lasted like a day. So
has she farted in front of you yet? That's an interesting milestone for a couple.
She is very she doesn't fart in front of anyone. She tries not to.
Does she
if she feels it coming on,
does she cover her ears when she farts? I don't want to hear it.
If she feels it coming on, she runs to the bathroom.
Really?
Yes.
Let her rip, man.
I know. I keep telling her.
Tell her. Be like, if you're lying about something, I want to smell the deceit.
Well, a lady doesn't kiss and smell, so.
Philosophical Grady over here. Jesus.
Speaking of philosophies.
You need to get laid more, John.
Good
job. I like this, John.
Let's talk a little social media madness.
Yeah, talk about getting fucked. There we go.
First up, we talked about Silver Surfer is rumored to be the next special presentation on the Disney Plus channel. And we had random Randy Savage say, I would like the Silver Surfer to meet all the Netflix characters in some way or another as a way to test humanity. Hopefully we can get Rosario Dawson back.
Oh, wow. That would be a failed test.
Yeah, they got her back for Clerks 3 to be, spoiler, dead.
He
Randy
also said, I want to see a Doctor Who type Silver Surfer, but he needs to be Peter Capaldi Doctor Who. We did say that when we were talking about it, like make him like a Doctor Who type character.
I do like the idea of Silver Surfer going to a different planet every week. You know, it doesn't have to be one continuous story. It can be an anthology. I'm down with it, man.
Right, exactly. Like, why does everything have to be on Earth? It doesn't. So,
and they've got plenty of mythology to mine for that. I mean,
true.
Plenty of planets.
And Surfer has a good rogues gallery. Yeah. So I mean, you know, you can have Terrax and all the other, you know, what you call
heralds.
Yeah, heralds in there. Meet them. Expand the universe, man. All we have to expand in the space time here in Marvel and the MCU is Guardians of the Galaxy.
Considering he would be a completely probably CG character, who would you want to play? You know, do the voice and whatnot.
As Norrin Rad or the Silver Surfer? Because the Silver Surfer is just going to be all CG anyway.
Well, either way, as Norrin Rad or as the Silver Surfer.
Can we have him change into Norrin Rad?
Or do we start off with him as Norrin Rad? And
I don't really. Do we need an origin story?
Yeah, maybe. We don't need.
Yeah.
Or can we just go? Because, you know, everything has to add up here. Because not everything has happened in this past 15 years of the MCU. You know, Silver Surfer happened a long time ago. You know, so I don't know. Do we do an origin story? Or we just get it?
I
don't think we do an origin story.
Yeah, because everybody knows who he is, or everybody who would want to watch the movie knows who he is, and we've already got a Silver Surfer in the Fantastic Four 2. So, yeah, I mean, again, they can way overdo the origin stories, and we don't need one for this.
So, do we have Peter Capaldi play him?
Peter Capaldi, oh God.
He'd be CGI, so you know what I'm saying? Like, he doesn't have to do the action; it's just his voice and mannerisms. So.
You would really just need a perfect looking man. I don't really know. There's so many to pick from. You know, take your pick. There's so many good looking guys in Hollywood. It doesn't really matter because he's going to be silver the entire time, unless he goes to a planet.
I hear you're right. I'll go get a can of silver paint and I'll go audition.
Paint you want a perfect. Yeah, exactly. Paint yourself in silver body paint. Get yourself a cardboard cutout surfboard and show up at my house.
You want a perfect man? Have David Tennant play the Silver Surfer.
I'll be your Galactus, Dave.
No couch interviews here. Moving on.
Please.
We also talked about, of course, Werewolf by Night. We did a review of that a couple episodes ago, and
I am still floored by the difference in opinion on that.
The Gorilla Brain podcast responded.
Don't read it.
I am with Old Man Grady on this one, but I don't think it's better than Winter Soldier. When he said that, I thought he switched his bourbon for crack.
Huh.
I forgot about social media madness when I wrote.
I mean, Winter Soldier is still like the Marvel recipe, the standard Marvel recipe, done extremely well, almost perfectly. So like very little daylight between the two, but I still like Werewolf of Night better just for its originality and the noir and all that, you know. And
so what you're saying is you hate Marvel movies.
I do not.
I think I know what John's saying. He's burned out by the formula. This was a little taste of something different. Like you can only have steak so many times a week.
Before
he wanted a little spaghetti, and he got it. And he liked the taste of it. And he licked his lips afterwards and he said, "Give me more, Daddy."
Yep. I mean, but I mean, there's truth to what you're saying. They have overdone. I mean, they even said it in who was it that was She-Hulk. When she was talking to Kevin, it's like, what is it with all the daddy issues? What's with, it's like she was making fun of the fact that their formula is just like the same for every character. So it's time they start branching out, and this was perfect for that.
You can transfer that argument about having steak every night to, it's like having sex with a woman every night. Every once in a while, you want to switch it out.
I was married for 4 years. What the fuck is that?
Sorry. And then Randy Savage from the Cult 45 podcast said, "It seems like he's agreeing with JD and I. It was okay. I was underwhelmed by the werewolf. I don't know why I was expecting the Hulk, but I was."
You expect too much.
I don't know if I was expecting
everybody else, they're spoiled by transformations from like The Howling and American Werewolf in London and things like that. They're overly spoiled. I like the old way they would do transformations in movies. They would shy away and let your mind make the fear, right?
I didn't have an issue with the transformation. I liked the like doing it in the shadow.
And that was all one take too. Like they did that. That was all practical effects. There were no cuts in that.
It was just underwhelmed by what the wolf looked like.
What did you want him to look like? Every wolf man looks different. They don't all
just look like it was makeup from the 50s.
But it looked like what was in the. See, that's the thing. They're damned if they do, and they're damned if they don't. If they made it look like American Werewolf in London, people would have complained that it doesn't look like the one in the comic book. They did the one in the comic book, and people were saying it's not cool
to look more like a traditional werewolf, though. That's the thing. That's the original.
What is a traditional werewolf?
A lichen, which would be more of the underworld werewolves.
Yeah.
So if they did it like that, and they had a giant werewolf, people would be like, oh, that's an underworld werewolf.
Yeah.
But now they can't have their own thing because they don't live up to a standard that was set 20, 30 years ago by other movies.
Yeah.
But if you go back and watch the original Wolfman, it's essentially the same thing. It's a cutaway transformation. It's an homage.
Yep.
If you watch old horror movies, Frankenstein, Invisible Man, Creature from the Black Lagoon, there are tons and tons of cutaways. And this movie was essentially homaging that, and I appreciated it.
I don't know.
You don't watch black and white movies, do you, Dave?
No, I haven't. Not in a long time.
Okay.
I've watched a ton of them. And
what about
Don?
Don, you're being so quiet.
Yeah, well, I'll get a little talkative here in a little bit later when we get on certain subjects, but it's just not. I haven't seen it. It's not. I haven't. It doesn't have enough buzz for me to care. I'm not a monster horror movie guy. I'm just not. So that's why.
Well, I will say this: it is horror done in the Marvel Disney vein. Like, there's nothing scary about it, really. Like, like you could watch this with the family, and it's not a bad movie to watch. So just keep that in mind. And it's not terrible. It's just not.
I thought it. I still.
It's not. No, see, John, this is the problem. See, I'm with you, but it's not what a lot of people wanted.
Yeah.
Nobody. Okay, so nobody asked for Werewolf by Night. Nobody except me.
I would have asked for it too if I had known if I had seen it before.
Wasn't JD excited about it?
He was.
He was
very excited about it.
Werewolf correspondent, right?
And he said there were things that took him out of it, and then it kind of ruined it for him.
In the MCU, you can't be picky choosy. You get what you get.
Mm.
So I do think the inclusion of man thing was awesome.
Yes, I do.
God, I can't wait to see.
Especially compared to the old, it's on Tubi right now. If you ever want to go watch it, the Man Thing movie from like 2003 that was on Sci-Fi.
Yeah,
that was terrible. Yeah,
it was sci-fi. That's their niche is terrible.
That's their thing. But yeah, they did Man Thing, and it was something. It was a movie. It had credits and actors.
How about okay? We talked about Black Adam last week. Did both you guys see Black Adam?
No interest.
Nope.
Oh my goodness.
Nope. It's not Black Adam's fault. It's DC's fault. I'm so turned off by DC properties because I'm tired of getting done dirty. Every time I put hope into something, they kill it.
I think you should have hope going forward. We'll get to that in a little bit. So of course we reviewed Black Adam last. First, Drew said, JD is right. I am live tweeting as I listen. Each post is usually my thoughts on the section of the show. If I have any. Sorry, John. More social media madness.
Mm-hmm.
And then he also said, Dave saying there could have been a better movie in Black Adam out there. Cut them some slack. They only had 8 years to make it.
15 almost, right? I mean, he's been attached to it for 15 years.
Yeah, but I think they actually started working on it 8 years. And I said, maybe they needed just 2 more years.
What could you have made any better in 2 years? What more improvements could you have made? It's a DC movie. Come on.
It's just the more I think about it, a lot of my biggest issues are just the editing in that movie, the way it was stitched together. I also have a couple points that I really didn't like about the movie, which go to superheroespeak.com and you can read an article I just posted this week. What is wrong with Black Adam?
How many times can I like that?
Okay. Son Warren said, I loved your discussion of Black Adam. It's nice when everyone has a strong opinion about the story mechanics. I haven't seen it yet, but I agree with John about a strong internal logic. Creators have the right to set whatever internal logic they want, but if one isn't established, then the default is to resort to our understanding of logic. It throws me out of a story when logic is broken for the sake of a splashy scene. I think when creators operate within constraints, they produce a better product. Great episode. So, see, John, someone agreed with you. So you can't always hate social media madness.
Must be that his new girlfriend.
I'm disagreeing.
Not my girlfriend yet. First date. Just the first
So,
date.
Two more to go, and then
what size
No.
ring? So what size ring does she wear?
Drink a little more wine there, John. I mean,
I'm Dave,
20 years ago, I would have been thinking that, but I am way more mature now.
Says the man.
Stop
Says
it.
the man
You
that-
stop that shit right
and on
now,
the comic
John.
book god.
All right.
So I'm disagreeing with that.
Oh,
Just to disagree.
No, I'm tired of people holding MCU up to a standard like they are the gold standard of storytelling. They're not.
but that's what.
Oh no! See how they neutered Scar and fucking She-Hulk? Come on now.
We haven't neutered him. We haven't
haven't
saw him,
seen
period.
anything
That's
yet.
it.
Come on, they just
Have you ever
showed
read a
him-
Scar comic?
Oh yeah, you're saying that he should have just immediately attacked everybody, right? Because that's what he does.
There you
He
go.
just-
There's my boy.
yeah. I mean, I get it. So like, I mean, there's always differences in the MCU, but they should hopefully explain why he's
My
not
God, what
covered in
they've done
blood
to
right
my
now.
boy.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we need to go back to a time when we discussed the Snyder bots.
Okay, so about 2 months ago?
Oh my God! So this is okay. All right,
they're back, baby.
So you.
Yay.
This has just been a crazy week for me on social media. So you guys haven't seen the movie, but you know the big thing that comes out of this movie is the Henry Cavill is back as Superman. Not only is he back as Superman, he wants to play a joyful Superman. He wants to be an inspirational Superman. So like he wants to go in a different direction with him, which I applaud.
All-Star Superman. Yeah.
So
sure.
The other news that we're going to talk about, of course. So when this came out, everyone's like, "Oh, the Snyderverse is back," and I'm like, "Is it?" Like because an actors or two are coming back does not mean the Snyderverse is back.
Yeah, it doesn't mean that they're going to hire Snyder back after what he did.
No.
So the first part of this actually is a Facebook post. I posted on my personal Facebook that please stop saying that Cameo and Black Adam means the Snyderverse is back. Warner Brothers lost money on the Snyderverse and are currently in a bad shape. It makes no sense to go back to it, right? Am I wrong with my statement?
No, you are correct.
Yeah.
Then I had some people comment. I have a lot of friends on Facebook, quote unquote friends. And, sometimes the worst ideas are the best ones, blah, blah, blah. But the one that stands out, Rob Liefeld responded to my post.
Oh, good.
Are you his friend on Facebook? Like, how did he see that?
I'm friends with him on Facebook.
Okay.
I'd burn my Facebook.
Ooh.
He said, so of those who don't use Facebook, you can do these 3D avatars. And I always use the one where it's like the guys, it's me standing in front of a chalkboard with a bunch of question marks on it, right?
Which
it's
I
just
see a bunch of times from a lot of people.
Right. And it doesn't mean anything. I just use that, right? So he said, please stop using an avatar that portrays you as someone above the rest of us, an instructor of sorts. No. Obviously, he didn't agree with my statement. Rob Liefeld doesn't ever comment on my stuff. He's liked a couple things that I've posted, but he's never ever commented before. So my girlfriend replied,
oh, no.
I personally don't perceive the use of this avatar as someone who is above, but rather someone who is giving thought to a subject he is quite knowledgeable about. I have learned so much from David since I met him about comics and characters, movies and shows, writers and illustrators. I've actually learned that there are people in the industry who have made a name for themselves and a healthy living despite the artistic ability to draw simple feet. It's all about perspective.
Oh, yeah.
He didn't respond anymore after that.
I'm surprised he didn't burn your Facebook after that.
Is it any wonder I love that woman? So,
there's more?
What?
Is there more? Is that the end of the conversation?
Well, and then listen. Here's the thing. So I'm kind of guessing he may even listen to this podcast. So Rob Liefeld, listen, I'm a person that seeks to go through life with no beef with anybody. But like you came after Dave on his personal Facebook page and made a huge inference that I can only guess that the reason you're so troubled by the news of him saying the Snyderverse isn't coming back is because your haircut still looks like it's made with that vacuum home haircut sucker that we saw in the infomercials back in the
As
90s.
seen on
So that
TV.
must trouble you so much that you can be worth anywhere from $3 to $5 million and still come at Dave like this on his personal Facebook page just because he mentioned the Snyderverse is not coming back. I mean, come on, Rob. Listen, this is why you're in the conversation about comic books, right? You created Deadpool because you had a hard on for Snake Eyes and Slade Wilson, Deathstroke the Terminator, so you combine them. And for some reason, not only did this blatant ripoff of a character get approved, they gave it the fucking X-Men Wolverine rub. Same with Cable, dude with a big gun and an inordinate amount of pouches and capsules, huge shoulder pads, and he's Cyclops' son. They give him that rub, and he's a blatant ripoff of the Terminator. I mean, just look at him. So that's the only fucking reason you're in the comic book conversation, outside of being able to not be able to draw feet, and then draw Captain America that looks like a bomb's going off in his fucking chest. So just because you're lucky enough to have 2 ripoff characters approved, and they got the X-Men and Wolverine rub back in the 90s in the height of bloat comic books, that, yeah, who the fuck are you? And again, how fucking sad are you that you're going to attack Dave on his Facebook page? With all due respect, Mr. Liefeld, fuck
the
you.
respect. Fuck the respect. We're not here for that. Rob Liefeld blocked me like 4 years ago.
If I haven't said it,
comment that I didn't even initiate.
Really?
This isn't the Jump on Liefeld podcast, but I kind of want to make it that now. Now I'm a little fired up.
If I haven't said it in a while, first off, Don, I love you.
Much love to you as well, sir.
The other thing I wanted to point out, so Shane Briggs.
Oh, okay, we're getting off of Liefeld.
This is because this is a part of the broader conversation. His argument, and I'm not going to go into all the comments, is basically that the actors are returning. No one's necessarily saying we're going back to Snyder's vision, but the Snyderverse is back because it's the same actors and we're continuing on with their stories. And it's like, yeah, but then don't call it the Snyderverse, right? Like, the Snyderverse, his plan was to have this nightmare future where Superman kills everyone, and it's like, we're not going to get that. Like, that's the message they're giving us right now, is that's not coming back.
But they spent a decade building the groundwork for that vision, for that shitty Justice League movie, and now we're stuck with it. We're stuck with it seared into our minds, and now because it's too late, it's too late to restart. So you're going to continue on and change things.
Flashpoint.
Yeah, Flashpoint's going to change everything. You got lucky as fuck with Flashpoint that you pulled it off when you did. Because if you'd have announced it now, we'd have had to wait 3 years, and we'd have had 3 years of shitty movies while you built up the Flashpoint movie.
Well, they're not exactly lucky because Ezra Miller is the Flashpoint.
Well, they're changing him out, so it doesn't really matter. For Flash 2, he's done. So it doesn't.
Yeah, they've already said that.
The only good news to come out of the Flashpoint movie is that we are going to get change, whether that be good or bad, that's to be determined. But until then, we're getting joyful Superman now because he was so happy in the Snyderverse. But what changed? We don't know.
So what you're saying is DC learned so well the lessons that they were taught in the comic book industry that they made the same mistakes in the movies by having to do a soft reboot, like they.
I was about to say we're getting the DC version of continuity. It's like like this is kind of his origin story, but we're kind of going to ignore it too and ignore all the negative stuff.
That's exactly what I'm saying. Yeah.
There's also another piece of news that came out, which we're going to discuss in the news,
which we should get to. But
it led to trending on Twitter was boycott WB, hashtag boycott WB.
What do they do now?
I asked, why is this trending? Bringing in James, that's the news. Bringing in James Scott to head DCEU is a brilliant move. He gets a character, he gets the characters. People want to bring back Snyderverse, hate Superman because they never understood the character. Which Shadow Walker replied, reason people are doing that is they want Zack Snyder to head the DC movie division and are desperately trying to save the Snyderverse and feel they can force DC to bring him back and give him full control. And then JD said, Twitter trends mean nothing. And I said, tell that to Warner Brother Picture, who did give us the Snyder Cut.
So let me get they've learned that now.
So let me get this straight. We bitched and complained that we didn't have our own Kevin Feige over at DC. We finally get one that understands characters and continuity and things like that, because he's been dabbling in the MCU with the Guardians of the Galaxy for so long.
Mm-hmm.
So we're mad because we put someone experienced
and
in
competent.
the
He also gave us two things in DC that everyone loves: the Suicide Squad and Peacemaker. Like,
yep.
That's what I mean. Why are you people mad?
Call it the Justice League dickheads.
You're mad at quality content and quality creators? I don't understand. It's like you want DC to fail so bad that when they make a decent move, appointing James Gunn to this role, you're mad. You want DC to burn, don't you?
Yeah, I don't understand, and that's what I'm getting at. And if you're listening to this podcast and you loved Snyder's movies so much that you're mad they're not bringing him back to continue,
then seek professional help.
Can you explain to me what you loved about them so much? And if you listen to this podcast, I can't imagine you like the Snyder movies that much.
I will do you one better, because I'm on the podcast right now and I've actually seen the Snyder Cut like 4 times.
Wow.
I actually enjoy it. I mean, I saw it with you guys at first. And I can remember us being like, boy, this is kind of fucking cool.
It was better than the
4 times cool,
version.
Don.
I enjoy it. I don't know what to tell you. When you got nothing to do, it's one of those like, cool, let me see this.
I can see that because of it. Yeah.
Is it the greatest thing since sliced bread? No. Does it? No, I don't. That nightmare scene, Jared Leto Joker, Mara running around with Joker, Batman, and the Flash. Like, no, I don't want no part of that. So yeah, I'm glad that's dead. But everything in that movie, was cool. I liked it.
I mean, it's still Zack Snyder.
With that, I'm still not upset. Right. I'm still not upset Zack Snyder's gone, because that movie was
pretentious,
dark,
and pretentious, and just overblown, and women singing as while sniffing his sweater,
smelling the sweater.
Come on.
Is it Tide fresh? I don't know.
I mean,
all right. Yeah. All right. Well, let's
good flash scenes though.
Yeah, true.
Let's put a pun in. That's enough social media madness for the week, because we're going to be talking a little bit more about the news in a minute. But if you would like to be part of Social Media Madness, follow us on social media. Here's our good friend D Squared to tell you more.
Enjoying the show? Want to be part of Social Media Madness? Make sure you are following superheroespeak.com, where you can find all of the show's social media links at the top of the page. While you're there, you can check out old episodes of the podcast, as well as some other great content. Check the site often, because we are posting some great comic reviews as well as comic book and movie news content every day. Make sure and follow us on Twitter at Super Hero Speak. And while you're there, check out the rest of the Geek World All-Stars Podcast Network. You can follow them at @stars_geek. The Geek World All-Star Podcast Network include great programs such as the Pop Prison Power Podcast, Cult 45, So Wizard, Fans on Patrol, the Gorilla Brain Podcast, and of course, Super Hero Speak. Search for #GWAllStars. You will not be disappointed. Now it's back to Dave and the boys on Super Hero Speak.
Thanks for that, Don. Should I tell them to go check it out?
Yeah, check out the Omega Level Nerd on YouTube. We do all sorts of shit there. Check it out.
Yeah, fuck it. I've been on there twice,
couple times,
3 times a lady.
Yeah.
I actually have a video that I want more people to. That we have a conversation. Me and my buddy Halo Drama that we prove the Vegeta's actually never lost to Goku. Check it out.
That's already a known fact. I don't understand.
Some people, no, okay,
Really?
I don't tell. Not in the Dragon Ball world. Everyone,
Yeah.
Vegeta himself thinks that Goku beat him, but he never did.
That's because he's too hard on himself. That's part of his character.
Goku had to use Kamehameha to defeat Vegeta. Man, Vegeta took not Kamehameha, but Kaioken times 20 to the face and still survived. Anyway.
Yeah, it was actually Gohan that beat him at that point, right? When he turned into Ozaru.
Vegeta was still able to crawl and get into his space pod,
Right,
and
yeah,
fucking
yeah.
Goku couldn't walk. But anyway, and Bleach, the 1,000-Year Blood War started too. Don't know if you've seen that, John, but that's cool.
True.
Check it out.
I gotta catch up on Bleach.
Chainsaw Man also started, guys. I know this is getting into an anime thing real quick, but
Anime Hero Speak.
Yep. But Chainsaw Man is out, and it tried to get banned in America. They tried to what do you call it? Cancel culture that shit.
Huh. They're
All right.
religious, right? Probably because hey, it is about
That might-
demons.
Speaking of
Cancel
things that
culture
should
might
be,
come after Chris Pratt.
It's that the girl is underage and the demon is a little older, and yeah, we don't pull that shit here.
Oh my god, like lolly 1,000-year-old little girls is just a normal thing in the anime. Like, you know what? They want to cancel something. Point them at interspecies reviewers. Let's see their brains explode on that. one.
Interspecies erotica.
Yeah.
Speaking of things that should be canceled, Ray, why don't you tell people
Right
where
here.
they can find the Gorilla Brain podcast?
You can find the Gorilla Brain podcast on any podcasting app that's out there, Spotify, Apple Music, whatever they call it these days. So you can also catch me on Twitch at 8BitRay, spelled out with the letters, not the number. I know a couple of you of them made that mistake, and I've had to correct you, and I'm getting tired of it. I'm also on YouTube, and hell, I'm even on Facebook gaming now. I know that's a weird thing, but also I am now an official TikTok ambassador, so follow me on TikTok. That's right. I'm big shit over there. So be sure to follow the TikTok at 8BitRay, of course. But for the podcast, yeah, man, Gorilla Brain Pod on Instagram at Gorilla Brain Podcast. Yeah, I get them all up. Twitter at Gorilla Brain Pod. That's where I'm most active and the most fun. Yes. That's it. Wrapped it up.
Yeah. All right.
Before I tapped it up.
On that note,
stealing
we're
them
gonna
so
take a
wizard
quick-
lines, baby.
We're going to take a quick commercial break. I'll be right back with the news.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Hopefully Joey doesn't sue us for that. All right, we are back.
Catheters are installed, everybody. Don't worry. We got them plugged in now.
Got a little bit of news to talk about. Of course, a couple of trailers came out this week. First look at the holiday special for the Guardians of the Galaxy coming to the Disney Plus December, right? So,
I mean, it would be a holiday special if it wasn't December.
Yes.
You got this.
Yeah. So anyway, no, it was good. I thought it was funny. What did you guys think? They go to Earth to celebrate Christmas to make Star-Lord happy, and they decide to kidnap Kevin Bacon for him.
They've ruined the game of 7 degrees of bacon. It is now only 3 because almost every working actor and actress out there right now has been in Marvel, which means that they've just ruined the game. There's only it's going to be 3 degrees of bacon now, maybe 2.
Well, now it's sad that his character can't come back because he was an X-Men First Class. Now he can't come back. Now he has to be Kevin Bacon.
Oh, true. Oh, what a terrible thing to be Kevin Bacon.
That's right, Hellfire Club. He was
Sebastian Shaw.
The Black King. But doesn't this seem like it's like a bit Christian-y for Disney, though? We've got Chris Pratt. He's kind of a lightning rod for cancel culture. Now he's in a Christmas special. I don't know.
I don't know, because a lot of secular people celebrate Christmas. It's more about, celebrating the holiday as it is opposed to being a Christian thing anymore, unfortunately, for us Christians who still, want to celebrate that aspect of it.
It's a commercial thing, so.
Yeah, it's become so commercial now. And again, they're just doing it to cheer their friend up. I don't think it's,
It's fine. The Star Wars holiday special last year I thought was fantastic. Was it Lego?
Life Day?
Yeah.
Life Day.
I'm just saying, it doesn't have to be about Santa Claus or.
I don't know,
anything
man.
like
It seems
that.
like a jump the shark moment to me, though. I mean, we
Why?
really need a Christmas special.
We had a Halloween one.
I think James Gunn knows what he's doing. I think it's going to work.
They are tempting fate with the Christmas special, though. I mean,
I truly
Not really.
think they are. That is a jump the shark possible moment there.
As long as there aren't Wookiees watching sex videos, I think we're good.
God.
Old man, Grandpa Wookie.
A Bette Midler bar scene.
I want to know what they were smoking when they came up.
Everything. Everything.
Yeah, back then.
I heard
I feel
Harrison
like-
Ford didn't even know his lines.
Let's say they got it to Carrie Fisher stash.
So Harrison Ford made up 90% of his dialogue for that. He didn't even have a script. They just said show up on set, and he was like, "Fucking drugs, man."
Hopefully that's
Carrie,
not the
you
case
still
here.
single? Good. We're gonna do some coke and bed. Don't care if it ruins my marriage, but I'm Harrison Ford and I'm a piece of shit.
And I'm gonna be Thunderbolt Raw soon anyway.
Oh my god. How do you really feel about him there, Ray?
I love it. He's in Blade Runner, man. Blade Runner is my fourth favorite movie of all time, dude. I can't knock Blade Runner. I do like Harrison Ford. I don't like him as a person, but as an actor.
Okay. As an actor, okay.
Yeah. As a human being, he's a piece of shit. But that's fine. That's fine. They can't all be Kurt Russell, okay? Kurt Russell is a goddamn saint.
And he's awesome. Like, just plain awesome.
And he was in Guardians too. Maybe he'll show up here because he's a saint.
Yes, and he's Star-Lord's dad.
Yes, and a god.
And dead in canon. So,
did you know that's my least favorite MCU movie?
What? Really?
Volume 2.
Even
my
with
least
the
favorite.
Mary Poppins moment?
Did nothing for me.
Mary Poppins, y'all.
Did nothing for me. Did nothing for me. I just can't stand that movie.
Wow.
Yep. Ms. Marvel.
It had David Hasselhoff in it. Come on.
Doesn't save it. Doesn't save it. The references and all don't save it. Building a Pac-Man statue, it just does.
Stallone was in it too, right? Wasn't Stallone in there?
Yeah, he was Star Fox.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
You finally get the funeral you deserve.
Miley Cyrus is in it.
Yeah. Basically everybody.
That's fine.
So, I mean,
it's not any good. It's James Gunn's worst work. What do you want me to say? Do you want me to go into a rant? I'll go into a rant if you want me to. If you want this to become the anti-volume 2 show, then I can totally.
All right.
I got an hour to kill.
All right. I am going to watch the holiday special. Are you guys going to watch it?
Absolutely.
I mean, John doesn't have a choice because we're going to have to watch it for the podcast. But
oh man, I sure hope they don't have transformations in this one. I'd hate for the Werewolf by Night stigma to roll off on this. Be terrible.
We'll see how it goes. I mean, I'm not going to poo-poo it right off the bat. I think I'm joking that like they're pushing it considering what happened with the Christmas special, and Marvel does own Star Wars. So, but yeah, I trust in James Gunn, and I'm just I don't know if you maybe was it Don said you maybe jumped the shark moment. It has every like there's every possibility it could if it's not done right, but I'm hoping it's just going to be something fun to watch.
What do you want? What do you want from it? What does the world want
something
from a
fun
holiday
to watch.
special?
Something fun to watch.
Okay, well, we got that with Werewolf by Night, and now you'll get another one, and everybody will go, "Oh, that was a great hour. Oh, that was super duper." And then we're gonna write it off. What's it gonna do for the future of the MCU to lead it into Phase 5? Not a damn thing. It's just something fun.
You know what? They said that what happened in Werewolf by Night will affect the future of the MCU.
In my mind, I want to believe it, but the only property that I can think of that it would change would be like Blade. Anybody that deals with the underworld and things like that. What?
Well, that shit ain't happening. So
you think Werewolf by Night is gonna meet Miss Marvel?
Unless Man-Thing's gonna pop up somewhere else. Maybe
that's fine.
Jack Russell may pop up too. So,
I just don't know how it's going to add up in the total of the MCU leading into Secret Wars and all that. Like, the Bloodstone.
He should show up in the next season of Moon Knight, since he didn't show up in the first season. If they ever do another Moon Knight season,
that's true. That'd be nice.
Yeah,
but I just don't see how it's going to be a big thing, or how it might be a minuscule thing. Maybe he shows up in Daredevil. Oh no, there's a werewolf in Hell's Kitchen.
Well, having a werewolf around would be very handy when you're fighting Kang, for crying out loud. I mean, they're going to need all hands on board. They'll probably go to try to break their record for the most number of Marvel superheroes on screen at the same time for Endgame.
Yeah.
Is that your way of trying to do a segue, John?
No, but
because the next thing we're talking about is the Ant-Man and Wasp Quantumania trailer drop.
That looks kind of awesome.
It looks really good, but I still don't know what the story is. I'm so confused.
Good.
You don't?
That's the point.
Yeah.
They're not giving away anything. How often do movie trailers do
that? I guess maybe I'm wrong, or I know I'm not smarter than you guys. I know that ain't.
You're smarter than me.
It definitely seems like they're gonna wake something, possibly Kang. It could be Rama Tut or some version of fucking Kang. But obviously one of those motherfuckers are stuck in the quantum realm. And so that little watch or whatever the little girl made is going to fuck all that up. I love the cast of the Ant-Man movies. I love that we're dealing with Scott Lang and that we didn't focus on Hank Pym. Yet we've still we've still introduced Hank Pym as this crotchety dickhead, which that's what he was.
Yeah.
And that's what he is in the MCU. He's just a fucking, just dickhead that nobody likes. I love it.
Do you think that this version of Kang gets released from the quantum realm into the main universe and starts effing things up, and that's what leads to Kang Dynasty?
Yeah, I think we're going to be introduced to Kang the Conqueror.
Yeah.
That'd be fun. I mean, it's got to build to something because this is phase 4, right?
No, it's phase fucking 4. Okay?
It is phase 4. Nothing has happened.
Black Panther 2 comes out in 2 weeks, and I don't care.
Nothing means nothing.
Namor is going to be in the MCU, and I don't care.
Wow.
Wow.
Let's not push it that far. Come on.
Well,
now.
maybe they started off with that movie, though. This
I just
things
don't
start
think-
kicking off.
My issue is how they're introduced. I mean, again, it's sad that Chadwick Boseman passed away, but then to do a Black Panther movie without him and use that to introduce Namor just doesn't feel right.
But it makes you feel something at least, right?
But I kind of feel like the Namor is going to steal this movie, and it's not a Black Panther movie, and that's what is bothering me about it at this point.
I think they're going to pay their respects.
Yeah, they're going to pay respects. Yeah.
No, I'm not saying that, but then I think once he shows up, he's going to steal the movie.
What's the problem? What is the problem?
Yeah.
What's the problem here, Dave? Why are you so
like,
what?
Why make it?
Like, there's a whole history between Namor
Yes,
and
there is.
Wakanda.
There's a whole history between Black Panther and Namor.
Right.
Okay, so why is it-
exactly. T'Challa, not just the legacy character but T'Challa and Namor got fucking beef. And so when he floods Wakanda, which obviously he's going to do in this movie, there's fucking meaning behind that.
Right, but then T'Challa's not there. That's what bothers me.
Yes, exactly.
It's one of the best storylines from the comics, and it's not going to happen because T'Challa's not there. Yeah.
So there you go. There's
Not everything is going to be comic accurate, Dave.
I don't like the shit in his nose.
You're starting to sound like one of them Snyder bot people.
No, I'm not a Snyder bot. I'm a basement dweller. Get it right, damn it.
But come on, when you think of Namor, do you think of the Aztec?
I think of the Fantastic Four. Be honest with you.
Right. Here we
True.
go.
That's true. He does have more of a history with the Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
Right. I don't think of the fucking,
especially the What If comic where he knocked up Sue Storm. Get it, boy.
Well, that was the whole thing when they brought him back. They brought him back in the Fantastic Four, and he fell in love with Sue Storm.
Yep.
Yeah.
But why is it a problem that Namor takes over? Like, if he's the shining star of this movie, why is that such a problem? Because in the first Black Panther, for me, the show stealer was Killmonger.
No, it was Black Panther.
Okay, I love Chadwick. No, I love Chadwick.
Boseman is awesome.
He is great. But the show stealer was Killmonger.
That's kind of true.
He was the most relatable goddamn character in that movie because he was one of us that just happened to be Wakandan royalty. Okay. So
if he didn't choke that lady, like, I'm with you. If he wouldn't have choked that lady,
you ain't ever choked.
Be like, no, I have never choked a bitch. You kidding me? Well, okay, not unless it was requested.
I was going to say, hold on, wait a minute. I think we've all done that. Come on.
Only if she asked, Dave. Duh.
Like Damon in the House of Dragon. Huh? We're gonna talk about that? No. Okay.
I've yet to watch it. Get off my dick, Don.
That dude. The show's awesome. Get on it.
I hear good things and I see clips on TikTok. I've been meaning to download it, check it out, whatever.
My only problem is they pass off wyverns as dragons. Don't think I don't know, because I do.
Okay, you know. You know what I know? Is that we have some social media madness to get to.
No, we already got through that.
We already did that.
We're in news.
Shit.
How many of those Mountain Dews did you drink?
That 5% is really hitting you hard.
5% alcohol got me feeling frisky.
All right. What were you saying, Don? Before we went off on our tangent.
Slide me a Zima, daddy.
Oh, I forgot. Yeah, forgive me.
I think
I like the cast of the movie, though. I like the cast of the movie. I think I'm actually excited about this one. That's what I'm going to say. And I think this is where I think Kang the Conqueror is what they've awakened in the quantum realm. I think that's where I was going. But I'm excited.
I was going to say that is the next movie I'm really looking forward to. Like, it feels like we had, what was it? No Way Home, and then we had Multiverse of Madness, and then it's like, I'm not really looking forward to anything until...
Yeah, Thor came out too, and I was just like, meh.
Yeah, Thor was like, it was okay, but it wasn't as good as like not Love and Thunder of Ragnarok.
Yeah.
Because Ragnarok had an impact to the MCU. This one didn't really.
Because it was so different. This was the same formula cranked up to 11.
Yes.
They let, what's his face, run wild.
Taika Waititi.
Yeah, they let him just, what we do in the shadows all over the place on that script. Sorry.
Yeah. I say that when we did the review for that movie. It's like there's only so much Taika Waititi you want in a movie.
Yep.
And then you hit that line and there's just too much. So
yeah.
And now Thor's the Deus Ex Machina for the MCU. Like
pretty much.
Nothing he really can't fuck up.
So the quantum realm, are we still in the quantum realm here? Are we still on Ant-Man?
If you want to.
Not
you
really.
Have something else you want to say? All right. Well,
not really. I just wanted to say Bill.
You can talk if
Murray.
you want to.
All right.
Yes. And Bill Murray. That was yes.
Bill Murray. That's all I.
Who's he playing?
He's gonna be one of the elders of the universe, right?
Don't care. I'm gonna go see it because Bill Murray's in it. I don't care.
It's the whole reason you saw Ghostbusters Afterlife, right?
I didn't finish it.
Oh my god.
I started it. I'm sorry.
It was much better than the all-female one. Let's just say that.
Sexist Dave at it again. Here we go.
Oh my god.
Here we go.
You can't take the 4 of the funniest women in movies and not make a funny movie. I'm sorry. It's just
But then we talk
illegal.
about Black Panther, and then we can't talk about the possibility of Shuri becoming the Black Panther because she's a woman, Dave.
Oh my god. No. I just think T'Challa is too important of a character and they need to recast him.
But you're still getting a Black Panther, technically, with tits.
Technically, yeah.
Yep.
Well, that's the other thing. What's with Shuri and her suit looking like a Black Panther suit in the trailer?
Yeah, she's probably Black Panther.
Right. That's
was like,
usually what that
Not
means.
Shuri. I'm sorry, not Shuri.
I was gonna
Riri.
say, I don't even know.
That Iron Man suit she's wearing looks like a Black Panther suit, not like an Iron Man.
Maybe it's like Black Panther themed, and then she'll go and make her Iron Man suit later, like on her show.
I mean,
Sam Wilson's suit comes from Wakanda, so
parts of it.
Yeah. If she's making him spare parts around Wakanda, it's gonna kind of look like
She
a
can
panther.
still
I mean,
paint it. She can still paint it red and gold.
What's your problem? No, what's wrong? What's wrong here? Why don't you want a Black Panther? What do you want? You want a Black Panther movie without Black Panther?
No,
I want a Black Panther with Black Panther. With T'Challa.
There will be a Black Panther.
It's like fucking Gotham. Let's make a Batman show without Batman. Come on, it didn't work. It was garbage.
They did that, yeah.
Yeah.
But that was DC. Trust in the
right,
MCU.
They're pulling a DC here.
Trust in Robot Dave. Or Kevin, sorry.
All right. Let's move on. Because you said jumping the shark. And when I first read this, I'm like, oh, this is kind of cool. And then I thought about like, no, not really. Who cares? So apparently, the next series that they're going to work on is a Vision series starring Paul Bettany. Like, who asked for this?
Yeah, exactly. Who is asking for this? Is it because we have to?
Because we're getting an emotionless. We're getting an emotionless. The drained white Vision. Like he's just a robot at this point. Like, how does this even make sense?
He's got all the Vision's memories, so this is going to be a journey show. He's gonna. I mean, they talked about the ship of Theseus philosophy, right? So,
all right,
it's going to be, well, what does he do with all these memories? Just having the memories, but
so Vision in the comics is the character. Like, if you want to kill someone and it doesn't mean anything, you kill Vision because he always comes back because
he's a
just
robot,
a freaking robot. Like, he's been killed so many times in the comics, it's a joke at this point.
Because you can't emotionally connect to a robot. That's why you can kill him off. Right.
Like, I mean, and it's he doesn't even have the effed up backstory that he has in the comics.
True.
He doesn't have Wonder Man's personality and all of that craziness. So
this show will only exist to satisfy the WandaVision fans that want a wrap up of that. Like, what happened to Vision when he blasted off? Well, here's what happened.
Yeah,
kids.
exactly. That's what this is. And
unless they tie it in with something else.
But like, does he need an 8-episode arc, or can we get him a half-hour special or an hour special?
I'll take an hour special. I don't need 6 episodes draining my life.
Can we just focus on a superhero somebody actually gives a shit about?
When will the MCU? I hear JD talk about it, and I hear John talk about it. Not so much Dave, but they talk about MCU burnout, and it's a thing. It really is. Like, it was a struggle for me to watch.
I disagree. I really do. I disagree with you. I don't think it's an MCU burnout. I think it's they're not focusing on the main hitters. They're not focusing on the A-listers. It's the same shit they do in comics.
Okay.
We're like,
You don't have to, because I'm a person that loves B villains. Like, I have so many first appearances of so many B-side villains that you wouldn't even think, because they were a villain of the week 3 or 4 times in their total run of the series or whatever. Like Tombstone. Okay, y'all remember Tombstone?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just saying, like, just B villains.
The Spider-Man villain.
Yeah. Just random. Yeah. I love these characters. Okay, so when you bring it up and they're like, oh, well, we're gonna skip it, edit it out, I'm done.
No. It's like, here's the thing with the MCU proper. Before these shows came out, right? We got introduced to characters. It was new, it was exciting, it was good, and then we got Avengers, and from that movie they built to Thanos, and they built to Infinity War, and then Endgame, right?
Because they were hyper focused about making billions of dollars. And that's what they did. And now, because they can just go, oh, it's a Marvel movie, we'll slap a Marvel label on it and throw it out there. It'll make $500 million up to $1 billion. It don't matter what we do.
Well, unless they're just making a much broader.
But what I'm saying is, right now, it doesn't feel like we're building to anything. Like,
because they don't have to.
They gave us a preview of Kang in the Loki show, but then none of the other movies feel connected to that.
Nothing feels connected in Phase 4. Nothing.
Right. And I don't think that's what the problem is, in all honesty.
It's frustrating. It really is, because you want to invest in this story, the overall story, what it's all building to. That's what Phase 1 and 2 were. And then 3.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we're not getting that, and it feels disjointed. And it's like, okay, but like even Love and Thunder, like that was a standalone movie. Like, it doesn't work without the movies before it, but the movie itself, like, it's just a personal story for Thor. Like, it has nothing to do with Asgard, Ragnarok, the MCU as a whole. It's just Thor, you know?
And I get it. And it's hard to go back from where we were from Endgame. Like, I expected this. I expected there to be some sort of down throttle. We're going back to the individual stories, but I don't think they're executing it correctly.
That's exactly, like, that's the thing. It's like, okay, they're introducing a show about Vision, which, other than people like John, who needs all the loose ends tied up, like, come on, the X-Men are out there in the Fantastic Four. Can't you bring them in faster? Like, that's what people want.
Right. I want to see an X-Men movie before I die, and it doesn't look like it's going to happen.
I want to see a good Fantastic Four movie before I die.
At least yours got a spot on the little timeline of their thing, though, right? Like Phase 5, don't they have?
Near the end.
At least you got that.
Yep.
If you want a good Fantastic Four movie, Dave, go watch the 1992 Roger Corman version.
Oh my God!
Don't say that. It's
minus the special effects. The story is very good. Yes, I agree.
Want a good Fantastic Four movie? Watch The Incredibles.
I mean, it's so funny with the
kind of
like that Roger Corman movie. You see where all the money went into. Is the final Johnny Storm special effects, and
that is where all the money went, because that's why they hired Corman, because he was really good at making good quality movies at a lower budget.
Yeah,
that's the reason.
I know.
Yeah, but they never released
supposed to see the light of day. But I think everyone on the planet,
like the Star Wars holiday special, how George Lucas actually burned the negatives.
But it's still out there. You can still get a copy.
And there's even an extended cut on YouTube, crazy enough, with commercials.
I think other than the cartoon that introduced Boba Fett, no one should watch it.
Not sober.
It had B. Arthur in it, and that
was a good part, actually.
Yeah, exactly. That part was good.
I did a watch along to it like 3 years ago. There's a full Ray commentary on it if you're ever interested. It's out there. Gorilla Brain Podcast, Spotify, Apple Podcast, all that fun stuff.
But George Lucas has proven himself wise.
Wise?
Yeah, burn them all.
Oh, okay.
Well, not only that, but okay. Listen, I remember everybody talking shit about episode 1, 2, and 3 and all the dialogue, blah, 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 blah. But yeah, they do the prequel trilogy, and now everybody wants George Lucas to shit again. So listen.
Who was that?
Look, Don. See, George Lucas, he's up his own ass. Okay, so you can't get the original cuts on DVD. You can probably still find the VHSs, but the DVDs are rare. I have an Empire Strikes Back.
They're in here. They're in here, buddy.
They're on a flash drive somewhere in this house.
I have the original versions on VHS. It's the only VHSs I never got rid of.
I know, but Lucas will never, or not even Lucas anymore. I think he put in a clause in some contract where he can never, or that nobody can ever release the original cuts anymore, because
I don't even understand. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Release them on Blu-ray with the option to watch the theatrical version.
It's in the paperwork, buddy. You're not ever going to get it.
I
Why?
think if you put them up against the remastered, they just look silly. And I agree with that.
I hate the special editions, and I hate the even more special editions he's done in the last 20 years.
The biggest issue is who shot first.
That's not even the issue. Han shot first because George didn't want him to be a cold-blooded killer.
But that's the whole thing. Like no, that works. It works for the character.
Mm-hmm.
Leave it alone. Like, nobody wants this. He dodged bullshit. And
tilt my head. Fuck off.
I've waited for this for a long time. I bet you.
The only part I agree with was adding in Jabba the Hutt scene at the hangar, because that was in the original script. They shot it. It just didn't work.
Well, that's because it was a duplicate. It was giving you information you already had.
Not only that, but though they wanted to introduce Jabba the Hutt, and they hadn't decided what they wanted him to look like yet.
Is that why Boba Fett walked in the frame?
Yep.
Yeah. And they had to alter him because he walks around him and he's a human, but Jabba has a tail, so they had to alter him like.
But they didn't have a concept for Boba Fett when they filmed that movie. Boba Fett wasn't a thing until Empire.
Yep.
Actually, a little bit before.
Yeah, no, that armor was it was white. It was going to be
the original
Empire
he was going to be like a special stormtrooper. It was going to be all white.
But they didn't have enough money to make more of them, so they said, "Fuck it."
And then that's how the Mandalorians were born.
I fucking love Star Wars. I'm sorry.
All right.
I love Star Wars. Hate the people behind them. Fuck you, Kathleen Kennedy.
Let's go.
I'll agree with that.
All right, let's get away from Star Wars and Marvel and Disney and go over to Warner Brothers DC.
We've already been there. We've already been there once tonight.
I know, but the big news, we started talking about it. The new head of DC Films and
James Gunn and the other guy.
Peter Safran, which is so funny. No one is talking about him. He's going to be in charge of the animation, which is funny because the animation is already good. And I've met a lot of people that work in the DC animation world. They've got this down pat. They know what they're doing.
It's been faltering lately.
It really has.
They'll line up.
I mean, Batman Ninja. Oh my God, that was horrible.
That was something.
I just watched Super Sons yesterday.
Okay,
and fucking Batgirl too.
It was Super Sons was good. It was good in general. It's just that when I was listening to the theme, the intro and outro music, I'm like, I've heard this before. Where have I heard this before? They heavily sampled the theme song from Deep Space Nine.
Don't forget to check out our special Super Sons episode where we interview cast and crew from that movie.
It was the writing on that was done pretty well.
Yes.
You know, I was really happy with that show. Yeah.
I mean, they crank out so many, not all of them get hits. Yeah, the Ninja one was stupid. The go back in time bit made it was almost like
I didn't like
they were
any
trying to
of
do
the
an anime movie.
I didn't really like any of the new 52 adaptations that they did. I thought those were pretty flat. I thought the Killing Joke was a little flat. Batman Ninja was
okay. Yeah, the Killing Joke, they made a really weird decision in that.
They were trying something different, and they should have just stuck to the source material.
And I still can't believe people tried to defend that choice.
But I will say this, and everybody knows that I'm a big Dark Knight Returns guy. It's like my favorite comic of all time. But but I will say that is my favorite DC adaptation is when they did the Dark Knight Returns. They did it. It was beautiful. It was done right. It was source material. It brung up the fanboy in me. I absolutely adore it.
Justice League Dark was done very well too.
I agree.
Catwoman Hunted, not so much.
Yeah.
So there were some okay parts of that, but overall, not worth it.
So the interesting thing about this story, though, is Yamada left, and then the end of the weekend they announced James Gunn was now in charge of DC Films. This had to have been planned for a long time. They kept it under wraps for a while.
It seems like they forced them out, doesn't it? They didn't just fire him. It felt it's been building for a while.
And it's funny because this all seems to hinge on that cameo from Black Adam where Superman, Henry Cavill, returns, and there's definitely a different vibe about the character in the cameo. You guys got to at least. Oh, you saw the scene. You sent me the bootleg.
Yeah, I'm bad for that. Yeah, I'm bad for that shit in the chat. Hey, check out these spoilers, man.
but yeah, like there's definitely a different vibe to it. And on that line, Henry Cavill in an interview or in a statement on, also he put this out on social media, he's very happy to return to a joyful version of Superman.
You know that he's out for season 4 of Witcher, right?
That's the other article that's attached, John, if you actually read the email.
Oh, okay. Yep.
On that, after he makes this announcement, they announce right away that Liam Hemsworth is replacing him in season 4 of The Witcher, which to me says there's fast tracking the next Man of Steel movie. Or
that also means there's no
Tomorrow,
season. That also means there's no season 4 of Witcher. I don't.
Why? I mean, there's going to be a season 4, but like maybe people.
See,
aren't
my
watch it.
wife was also very pissed. You know, we're going to get no more Cavill butt, unfortunately.
Don't know what Gunn is going to do with the next Man of Steel movie.
True.
Well, no, but he's certainly not going to CGI any gray wigs out. I mean, he's out. He's not Geralt anymore, and
that's
yeah.
true.
To a lot of people, that's the end of the show. Now, I'll still watch it, but I got into the fucking show.
But in the Witcher universe, I mean, reincarnation is not exactly a new thing. So I mean,
sure,
they
in the
could
Witcher
easily,
universe, but who gives a fuck about the Witcher universe if he's not Geralt?
Yeah, there's a certain ambiance he brought to the character, like a certain like just the grunt, like most of the character is grunting, but you have to do it right.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and he was the character from the beginning. And there's some talk like, you know, Cavill is a geek. He's one of us.
Yeah.
Oh, and there's been some talk that he was very upset.
No. He has a 6-pack app. Okay, he can pretend to be a true geek, but come on,
I know, but there is
no. He wanted to play Superman more than anything and was disappointed with the reception he got from the character. That's why he came back. He wants an opportunity to get another chance and do him right.
True, but it didn't help that they were taking Witcher in a direction that supposedly he didn't like.
Yeah.
So
it's fine. It's a mid property. It's fine. It's
a zero-sum game, though. It's a zero-sum. We gained our Superman, but we lost our Geralt.
It's not like everybody in Stranger Things is like, we're not doing season 5. That would be the end of the world. Henry Cavill is not the Witcher anymore. Is just a stumpier toe.
True.
Right. And it's not like he's not the Witcher and he wants to go do a drama. He's going back to be Superman.
Let him do what he wants, man. He's earned it. He had to survive the Snyderverse. Yeah,
do you watch it? Okay. What about you, Dave?
I have not seen it yet. It's on my list.
Okay.
With Sandman?
I just don't see anyone doing it like him. It's not. I don't know.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm with you, man.
Dave, quick question from last week's episode. Have you watched the Death episode yet?
No.
I didn't think you did.
I had other things to watch. I had to watch a movie for this week that we'll be talking about in a minute.
A 2-hour movie? That held up your entire week.
A movie that I've also seen before, so I didn't have to pay that close attention to. I just wanted to get caught up on stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm actually very surprised to say what I got to say about that movie, but
okay,
anyway,
that's
interesting.
That diner episode left such a bad taste in my mouth. I'm having a hard time going back to the show. I really am. I'm sorry.
And yet that diner episode is like, that is, you know, that's Dream. I mean, that's part of Sandman.
But I mean,
Dave,
I'm with you. I can't do the shit where it's just like downer life and people suck. Fuck. Like I can just watch
nihilism.
That.
But you love The Boys.
Yeah, I can't.
But you love The Boys.
I don't love. No, do you want to know how many times I've almost stopped watching the fucking Boys? Like in the end of season 2, where fucking Homelander's sitting in the sky jacking off. Like,
that was it. I'm done.
Really?
I have not watched any more of it after that.
I didn't even get that far.
And then you get into season 3, and what do they start off with? Giant dicks.
It's true.
Oh, okay.
Now we know why you're still watching, Don.
I do like the show, though. I'll be honest with you. But there's a lot of times where I'm like, this motherfucker, I don't think I'm going to watch it anymore. Then I tune in next week. I don't know what to tell you.
What? It was like an episode of Magic School Bus without the bus. Yeah, they went inside the human body before. Remember?
Come on.
Oh, my God.
They went inside the human
Canceling
body.
the Magic School Bus, brother.
Mother's Milk answers the door, okay? He answers a fucking door. And then it's just like 3 people with white Nickelodeon slime just hurl buckets of it at him.
Don't they also do the thing where like there's a character who can shrink like Ant-Man, goes in someone's
right?
And
Yes,
that's how they started off the season, man.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. He goes in his big giant dick Or okay, no, I'm sorry, I'm wrong. The dick's regular size. That's the other
He's
person
tiny.
that has
Did
the
you
giant
measure?
dick. There is another guy with a giant dick, but yeah, this guy goes tiny inside a dick.
And he starts feeling around
And
all
he
the sensors.
sneezes.
Okay,
And
we've gone off the rails here, guys. It's
What's the boys? You mentioned-
Welcome to an
It's
episode.
true. The boys
This
is the rails, right?
This
Yeah.
is exactly why JD calls me the anarchy that's injected into each episode I'm in. It's like, JD, I'll talk to JD. He's like, we need a little bit of anarchy. Let's call Ray. Oh, you done messed up.
I'm blaming you for this one,
that gives
JD.
fellatio.
All right. Well, tell you what. Let us take a quick commercial break, and we'll come back with our main topic, a very old movie.
You better say the name right. Don't say it like old man Grady. Don't you do it, Dave.
My gosh.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
All right, we're back. And in 2005, the movie came out from DC Vertigo called Constantine.
Thank you. Yes.
Starring
that
the
one,
one and
Grady.
only Keanu Reeves, Shia LaBeouf, and what's her face? Tilda Swinton.
And blonde-haired chick.
And Rachel
That's Tilda
Weisz.
Swinton. And Rachel Weisz, yes.
Yeah.
And
Can't forget her.
all right, so my first question, all right, when did you first see the movie and what were your initial reactions after you saw it? And we'll start with Don because I feel like he has something he needs to say about this movie.
Yeah, I actually first saw it when it first came out in the theaters.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, it's a comic book movie. I don't read the comic, but it's a comic book movie, so I'm gonna go watch it. And I honestly didn't like I liked it, but I wasn't that impressed with it when I first saw it, to be honest with you.
Okay.
It really wasn't. I thought, oh, it's better than what was that Arnold movie back in the End of Days. It's like, oh, it's better than End of Days.
That was 1999.
Yep.
Well, that's the last time I watched an apocalypse movie.
And remember, because in dreams, numbers are upside down, so it was 666. All right. How about you there, Ray?
Absolutely adore it. And you would think I saw it in theaters when it came out, and yeah, I absolutely adore it. And Hellblazer, John Constantine, Mr. O'Grady.
I pronounce it both ways.
I
I've
know.
heard it both ways.
You're a proper motherfucker. I know. I'm from the streets. All right. So John Constantine has probably been my favorite character for Jesus, like as long as I've been reading comics. I got a hold of a Vertigo comic in 1992, I believe it was. Uncle Jamie. He's not really my uncle, but we always called him Uncle, right? He would give me
a white van.
Huh?
Did he have a white van?
No,
Uncle
he wasn't
Jamie?
serving. He wasn't serving ice cream, for Christ's sake. He would give me. He would give me comics for Christmas and my birthday. Man, he was a great guy, and he eventually gave me my first Hellblazer comic, and he said, "Read this." And I'm like 7 years old at this point. Why? But whatever. Read it, loved it, and I've been a fan ever since. So John Constantine is the most relatable character that I can think of in comics. Period. And it doesn't really matter who's writing him or how he's portrayed in film. It's still the most relatable character that I can possibly think of in comics. So Superman, Batman, I can't relate to being a billionaire with, daddy issues or parent issues. Superman, I'm not a god. I'm not an alien. I'm not from this world. Well, probably not. There's just so many characters, but John is the most human character that I can even think of. Okay. And I love him. And I broke his statue. Sorry, John. At least it was New 52 John.
Your cat did.
Your cat did, yes.
New 52 John, by the way, was the biggest piece of shit.
All right. And
not the quality of the comic. I mean, the actual character was a piece of shit.
Moving on to the man that this character is named after, John. Did you see this when it first came out? What did you think?
Actually, no, I did not see it when it first came out. I saw it on TV, I guess, which is a poor place to see it, really. But I always liked it, especially because it always struck me as this is Constantine. He outwits even Satan himself, and it just, I don't know. It felt right. I mean, it was weird. I thought it was weird that was playing him at the time. But because like back then, like it's Keanu Reeves. Where is it? He's Ted from Bill and Ted.
Oh, he was Neo at that
he was
point.
Neo.
I
He
know,
had
but
just come off the Matrix, the
Point Break.
Revolutions, or whatever the hell it was called.
yeah, but I was still like, it was still, I don't know. But he played that well too. Like he's very good in this movie, And I guess at that point, that's when you start to realize, yeah, that this guy is actually a good actor too. But yeah, and then I immediately hated Shia LaBeouf before I even know who he was, which I guess is appropriate. And yeah, it's just there was so much lore in this, and they didn't explain everything, which was good. It made you feel like, yeah, well, a lot of it they didn't need to, but there was also, from what I understand, a lot of stuff on the cutting room floor that some more explanation, not for everything, but still more. And yet, they didn't. If they played it like they did later, way later, John Wick, where they didn't explain everything, they treat you like you're intelligent, and they expect you to know some things, but it felt like it was this very big realized world that you were watching. It was cool.
Yeah, I'll agree. This is a great example of show, not tell. It done right.
And the cinematography was great too.
Yeah, so I'm going to say 2005, son was 3, so we didn't go to a movie unless it was something we both really wanted to see and was like a big blockbuster at that point. So I first saw it, we rented it on DVD when it came out because we were Keanu Reeves fans, Matrix, Bill and Ted, all of that stuff. And I remember like really liking this movie and then talking to a diehard DC fan who loved the character. I was like, yeah, that's nothing like the character in the comic.
Wrong.
Yeah.
Wrong? Do you think it's like...
It was like him.
Oh, I mean, first off, the character in the comic is British, isn't he?
Yes, and he's blonde, and he wears a brown trench coat.
Yes.
But the reason he doesn't wear a brown trench coat is because they tried it, but they tried different tests. They even dyed Keanu's hair blonde at one point. They had to dye it back. They tried a screen test for it. It just didn't work because of the color palette that they were going for. If you ever notice, when you watch this film, there's nothing bright about this movie.
Yeah.
Right? Until they go to certain specific locations like Hell or Papa Midnight, right? Those are the only bright places. And that's
or when they kind of show heaven at the end.
True.
Yeah.
These are the only bright things. Everything else is like dulled out colors because they were going for a noir-esque kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it shows because if you look at some of the shots, like they're pan shots. So you're going to have characters over here to the left when they should be center focus, right? But they're over here because they want you to look behind in the background and things like that. So this thing is shot like a noir, and it feels like a noir. It feels like a modern noir.
I get it, but I do feel like the TV version of Constantine from
is comic accurate. Yes.
Yeah. Ryan, what's his name? No.
But here's the thing: is that you don't have to have comic accuracy in 2005. Hell, look at Catwoman.
That was going to be my next point. Is that like in 2000? That is a 2005 comic book movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's the character. It has a lot of the elements from the comic, but they made it work for the actor they wanted in the role and what they thought audiences wanted at that time. Yeah.
Yeah. So what they did was they combined a couple of different arcs and smashed it into one. Okay. So the biggest one that you can think of is Dangerous Habits. Okay. That would probably be, that's the one where he's diagnosed with lung cancer and, the devil comes for him. That's a main part of this movie. John trying to buy his way into heaven and things like that. That's one piece of the puzzle. The Spirit Destiny thing was another arc. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head. Another one would be, what was it called? Sins. Which was the Jamie Delano, which was the first 12 issues of the comic. A lot of the aspects and creatures from there were taken and put into here.
All right. I have a question because I've not read any Hellblazer comics. Is that the storyline in the comics? Did he try to commit suicide when he was younger and then was brought back and now he's trying to buy his way back into heaven?
See, that's the thing. No, not really. That was kind of thrown in there for it to make sense, which, I think they did a good job pulling it off.
No,
John's too selfish to try to kill himself.
Yeah. It's mostly that a friend of his, the kid got sucked into hell, and it was mostly because of John's negligence.
Yeah, he was haunted by a ghost.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the arc is actually called Ghost.
Okay.
So, like I said, there are elements in the movie. They're just small pieces taken. So you're not getting a comic accurate John Constantine. No, black trench coat, black hair. It's just because it fit the color palette. That's the only reason they did it that way.
But his actions and his personality, he's still a dick. Yeah,
he's a dickhead. He's still.
I think they did a great job of showing that, especially like not holding the elevator for Angela when they first meet. Like, yeah,
exactly. The spirit of John Constantine is here in this film, and that's what I appreciate about it, because I could be like, oh, that's not comic accurate, and be like one of these other dickheads on the internet. I don't want to be that dickhead. I want to go for a fun ride with a character I love. Does he look the same? No. Does he act the same? Yes.
Yeah.
So Don, you said you didn't care for it when you first saw it. What is it? What bugged you about this movie? What's the thing that bothers you the most?
Well, I didn't read any of the comics.
Okay.
So to me, it was like, yeah, there's Neo with a Jesus gun. But I will say that watching it again, I enjoyed a lot more, actually. There's a lot more that I appreciate about it. But as much as I say that I didn't know much about the character, one of my very good friends, who unfortunately is no longer with us, he was a huge Constantine fan, and he did not enjoy Keanu Reeves' performance. So he kind of, I guess, influenced me a little bit, because, that was back when I was like, oh, it's got to be exactly like the comics. So if he says it's not like the comics,
yeah.
So I just didn't appreciate a lot of the finer points that I appreciate now, watching a 2006 movie in 2022 and saying, well, shit, if it wasn't the fact that no one in this movie uses a cell phone, and the CGI is a little bit questionable, this actually holds up really well. This is a good movie. There's a lot I like about it. I mean, I'm a Christian, so when you start talking about the spear, destiny, and the fucking holy water bombs that come from the River Jordan,
the Antichrist.
Yeah, that stuff kind of jazzes me up a little bit. But then when you watch the movie, and it's like going through all the comic book movies that we've been through, coming back to this and thinking, oh, look, he actually thought his way through this. This isn't like some big CGI monster fight. He had the big Jesus gun, but that was fucking 15 minutes later, it's gone. He didn't bring his big Jesus gun, and that's how he won. Like, he actually tricked the devil.
He outsmarted a freaking building full of demons too by putting holy water in the sprinklers. Like, genius, bro.
Yeah, and it's how he got that one guy that acted like, what did he say? Finger looking good. I'm like, are they trying to bring that back?
It's Balthazar.
Yeah, it's like he's doing his best, intimidating gold dust there. But yeah, you got it. Yeah. But I don't know, watching this again and comparing it to newer superhero movies, I'm like, this is really fucking cool. Like, I get all of this.
By the way, the woman demon, when he first enters the building, that was one of the first appearances of Michelle Monaghan.
Was it now?
Yep.
Oh.
You always get surprised by little cameos like that.
No.
But
I
agree with everything Don said.
I agree with what Don said in the sense of being a Doctor Strange fan and loving his first movie and how he outsmarts Dumarmo and like the idea that he outsmarts Lucifer in this. It's like, yeah, like I like that. Like, he doesn't have to win by outfighting him. He wins him by outthinking him.
He's a con man, Dave. Constantine has always been a con man.
Yeah.
Just a con man with just a little bit of power.
Yeah.
But it's funny, like watching it now with 2022 eyes and it being a 2005 movie, it felt like it was made to be a standalone movie. Like, there's no need to make a sequel to this because basically he stops the end of the world. Where do you go from there?
Yeah. And I like the fact that Shia LaBeouf's character dies.
You know what? I completely forgot that he died.
Guys, did you watch the after credit scene? Because Shia LaBeouf comes back. John goes to Chaz's grave and he leaves his lighter on Chaz's tombstone. And then you see Shia LaBeouf as an angel. And then he flies up into the air.
That's what I forgot. I watched that originally and I did not watch it this time. And I'm like, I kept thinking, like, he comes back, like he was just knocked out, right? Like, I completely forgot.
Oh no, he did.
Yeah.
Right after he was talking shit.
Yeah,
he got killed.
Chaz Kramer, asshole. Look like Freddy versus Jason pinball. Bing, 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 bing.
Also, that will be the way Shia Shia LaBeouf goes in real life. He'll be talking shit and somebody will take him out.
Yeah, two things that you get to see in this movie that you just don't get to see anymore. A, lots of smoking inside, and B, Shia LaBeouf before he's batshit crazy.
Constantine gives no fucks. He's smoking in the hospital while looking at his X-ray of his lung that is just polluted.
He lights up after he gets it cured.
Yeah.
Here's a question, right?
That's a great idea.
So when Constantine was on Legends Tomorrow, there was a running gag where they keep him from smoking. Like he keeps losing his cigarette every time he tries to light up.
That's the WB.
At the end of this movie, they show that he's chewing gum, right? Like because he got a second chance. They took the Lucifer. He tricked Lucifer. He took his cancer away. But smoking has always been a part of his character in the comics. But we now live in a world where if you show smoking in a movie, it's automatically rated R. You know, because children aren't smart enough to go, oh, I can't smoke.
Which is why Camel Cigarettes doesn't have Joe Camel anymore. Nobody can use cartoon characters in their cigarette ads anymore.
But I'm saying in 2022, when they want to make the movies PG-13, they get the largest audience. Is John Constantine a smoker in this new movie?
John Constantine took up vaping.
I don't know if vaping counts as the thing that makes it rated R as well.
It depends.
That's the point. It's just as bad, but they don't have it. It's not part of their rating system yet. So.
He'll go back to smoking. He will in the sequel.
So you think he'll make an R? Well, this was R as well. So
yeah, he'll go back to smoking. And that's perfectly fine because that's the character. He smokes 2 packs a day the right way until the day he dies.
Or all of the days he dies.
Yeah, all the days he dies. Yeah, he does die quite a bit.
You know what was really funny though watching this movie is the lack of cell phones. Like nobody uses a cell phone.
I told you, Don. It's supposed to be like a modern noir.
Well, I'm sorry. In 2005, I had a cell phone for emergency purposes in the car. That was it. Like we didn't use a cell phone because it was so expensive.
I know.
Unless people were on your Fave 5 or after 9 o'clock.
Yep, exactly. You got charged for every phone call back then. People don't remember that, but yeah, like it makes
75 cents a text.
Yeah,
that's right.
I was just listening. I think it was Colt 45, and they were talking about this. Where it was Colt 45. I think they were talking about maybe the first Scream movie. I don't know. They were talking about some movie where it was like, no, it wasn't Scream. Maybe it was Halloween where they knocked the phones out, and it's like. You can't do that nowadays because everyone's got a cell phone. Like, if John's phone's not working, well, Ray's phone will probably work.
Well, you can get now you can.
You'd have to use an EMP.
No. You can actually get a cell blocker, right?
Okay, or a low-level EMP and knock out all the electronics.
But that's the thing when kids watch older movies, they're like, why aren't they using their cell phones to call for help? It's like there were no cell phones.
It's so funny though, because stuff like that does date the movie though, right? It puts it in It puts it in 2005.
There's nothing you can do about that, though. It's like, you gotta watch that with that idea in your head.
Yeah. What was it? What was I recently? Oh, was it Gotham? I remember that. We're talking about Gotham and trying to figure out what time period it's in because Gordon uses a flip phone in it, but everyone's using old style computers. And it's just that
just sounds like a continuity error.
Cathode ray tube monitors.
An overload.
So anyway.
God, they weighed a ton.
It's just weird when they make something modern, but try to make it feel ambiguous about the time that it lives.
Well, there is a cell phone. She uses it. Evie uses it in the car when they called the guy that looked through the Devil's Bible or the Hell Bible.
That's right. They call him from the car.
She had an old phone that she had sitting in the cup holder or whatever it was.
That's right.
So there was a cell phone in there, but she called somebody that was using a landline.
Yes. And they were talking about that symbol that the priest had carved into his arm right before he died.
His hand, yeah.
His hand, yes.
Sorry, I didn't mean to correct you.
Yes, you did.
Yes, I did.
So you're right. There was a cell phone in the car for emergency purposes. See.
One whole cell phone.
One whole cell phone, yeah. Weird. Anyway, what did we think of? Okay, I know I'm jumping around here, but at the end of the movie, we got Peter Stormare, is that how you say his name? As Lucifer at the end of the movie.
Dirty, grimy Lucifer.
Yeah.
Yes, dirty, grimy.
Old Nick Lucifer, right?
Much different than other portrayals of even the DC version of Lucifer. What did we think of that portrayal?
That's the look that they were going for. They wanted the dirtiest, grimiest Lucifer that they could find, and that's what.
And he comes off like a pedo,
like a
the
like
way
a
he
mob
talks.
boss.
Like he's just
Don
like
Constantine.
dirty and yeah. Like he wants to have sex with them.
Right. That's what my best way to say is doing his best impression of Gold Dust. Is getting all up in his face, and he even licks him at one point.
Yeah. Such a grimy, dirty version of her. Like,
but it's nothing you've ever seen before, right? So
or since I can't think of any other any other time I've seen Lucifer like that.
It sticks in your head, doesn't it? Because
very much so. That's why I brought it up.
Yeah, you've seen Lucifer on the TV shows, and he's all clean cut and beautiful looking. Man, this is a dirty, grimy, yellow, black fingered, tar dripping off his feet, but wearing a classy ass white suit, I might add, which is ironic. Which is ironic that he's wearing a white suit because that's like mocking the Lord.
Or even like when he's trying to drag Constantine to hell, like he doesn't have demons come and pick the body up. He's dragging him himself.
Yeah, he said, "You'll be the one soul that I come up to claim myself."
Yeah.
And he was literally going to drag him to hell.
But he was menacing too. Like
very.
Just
yes,
it was great.
It is such a creepy, great performance. It does stick with you.
Even in defeat, that Lucifer was still creepy.
Yeah.
Like, even though he got beaten, he's like, "What do you want, John? An extension?" This is a great Lucifer.
Yeah, I think the last time I saw that dude before this movie was in Ben Affleck and fucking Armageddon. There you go. He was a Russian guy.
He was Yuri the scientist, the Russian.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh my God, you're right.
But you said that like he got tricked like the Satan did. Like, no, he didn't. Like, John Constantine is on his way to heaven.
No, it was,
and he's like, I'll just save your life. How about that? Ha ha ha.
Yeah, it's all part of the plan.
But the whole thing is he thinks he's taking them hell, but he traded places with another person in hell, so he created a sacrifice, which is, obviously. It does say that in the Bible is like, that's the guaranteed way is give up your life for someone else. So
that's how This Is the End worked. If you ever saw that movie with Seth Rogen and all.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
the
right.
rapture.
The end. Yeah.
Yeah. That was John's plan the whole time. Even to the end of his life, he was a schemer.
Because that's the whole thing. You're sitting there like, why is he cutting his wrist? Like, it makes no sense. He's giving up.
He knew goddamn well that the devil would come to claim him. And he could create a sacrifice, saving his own ass, by the way.
Yeah.
That's John, man. That's how Constantine's mind works. He didn't think that the devil would, rip out the cancer out of his lungs. That was just a plus. That's a bonus.
No,
bonus. That screwed him.
Yeah, that was to give him more time to screw up more.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But now he's
Isabel and then make the deal, do what he did to get into heaven, and then realize, Saint was going to save his life.
But the entire point of this movie, from the very first time that we see John, what is it? To buy his way into heaven, right? He's doing the exorcism on the girl, and he divorced the demon and all that. It's just to get him into heaven for a retirement plan because he knows where he's going. To the very, very end, when he tricks the devil, he knew damn well how to get into heaven. Created a sacrifice, released that soul up to heaven, sacrificed his own life. And then, the shining light comes down and lifts him up. It's perfect. It's totally Constantine. That's what this movie should have been called. Totally Constantine.
Here's my one question. Maybe you guys can help me with this because I just now I didn't get it. Why would Lucifer care if Gabriel was going to release the Antichrist?
Because the earth was his and his alone in his time.
Yeah.
Because he says in time it'll be mine, and to be usurped by your own son, that would piss me off.
But to be usurped by your own son working with Gabriel.
Right.
Think about the first time you're out with your son playing one-on-one on the basketball court and he actually beats you. You're not ready for that. So you trip him. So, I mean, it's the same concept. Right. Though it's funny. Like, what did we think of Tilda Swinton as Gabriel? Like, I thought that was a great performance. And like, is she evil or just misguided? I think she's just misguided.
I don't even think that. I think she did a great job of playing an angel because I know that most people think, oh, angels, they're good, they're great. Well, actually, angels were, again, if you believe in Christianity theology here, but angels were actually created to serve us.
Yes.
Okay.
And they're jealous.
Right.
Because we're created in the image of God.
Because they don't have any free will.
Right. They have no free will. And we're these little wicked shithead retard humans that God just loves us anyway.
Yes.
And so I thought she did a great job of portraying, you know, she told me that, you know, you humans, you're the only creatures in all the universe that can boast, you know, what you can boast, which is, you know, God loves you no matter what. So I thought she did a great job. I thought she did a wonderful job.
I think that Gabriel, her ideology was wrong, but her motivation was driven by boredom, essentially. I think boredom would... What the hell are you doing? Okay, edit that out. The dog just hit the table for no reason. But I think that she wanted this war so bad that she would release the Antichrist because, one, she hated humans, and two, she was just bored and wanted to start a war. So 2 birds, 1 stone. 1, you get the demons up, she gets a war, she gets something to do, and 2, the humans are wiped out.
Yeah.
So she's kickstarting the end game. She's tired of waiting.
Yeah, no.
Right, exactly. Because she's kickstarting the revelation, basically.
Yeah.
We're trying to.
Yeah. I mean, and I think I could be wrong. I think this is the first movie I saw her in too, as an actress. So
she's definitely the first time I've seen her.
Huh.
I mean, I've seen her in a lot of stuff, but I think this is the first movie I saw her in. So, I mean, I'm sure she was in a bunch of stuff before that. So, because I think she was in her probably 30s or 40s when she did this movie. So, yeah. So, I think my only complaint, in all honesty, about this movie is the Spear of Destiny stuff felt tacked on.
It was because they found the Spear of Destiny and he walked. And then he walked until he found a car. And then he found a car and he went to that hospital, you know, to get the lady. I can't remember her name was. And there's a lot of stuff that went on in the background of that happened. But essentially, like, that's the journey of the villain, or, well, not the villain, but that's the journey of that Spear Destiny zombie, whatever you want to call him.
Well,
I thought that was funny.
We need a MacGuffin.
Yeah, no, and that's
something
exactly
to bring
what
up.
it is.
We needed something to bring forth the Antichrist.
But I don't even feel like you needed that. You could have just been the twins, the psychics, and the divine intervention, which is the angel. You know, like I don't think you needed the Spear of Destiny at that point. Like you could have gotten away with cutting all that out of the movie.
And plus, how does the Spear of Destiny get all the way from Jerusalem? And I understand it was in a Nazi flag, so they're basically suggesting the Nazis had it. Yes. And I do know there's some South American Nazi migration, but that's more Argentina and stuff. Like I don't get the Spear of Destiny being in Mexico, but whatever.
And here's the thing, like with the visions and everything, why did none of the visions guide him to like find the demon with the Spear of Destiny and Constantine just get that? Because if he had that, the whole thing is done. Like there's can't
movie.
The whole movie's done. He wins at that point. If he's
it's like Gandalf just taking the eagles and the hobbits to Mount Doom.
In the first place, why did he wait till the end?
Well, I'm glad we had this eagle. Somebody could have gotten hurt.
Yeah, I mean, that felt tacked on. Other than that, it's a great movie. Like I feel like you didn't need the Spear of Destiny in it. It felt like one more piece to tie it to Christianity, and it was like, yeah, we've got angels, demons, Lucifer, and God. We don't need any more at this point.
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah.
You'd really have to nitpick to find something you didn't like.
I mean, the CGI, but it is 2006.
It's dated. They were a little bit too ambitious with the CGI.
They look like the creatures from V, the green. I did not quite get the demons being kind of green, scaly, like those creatures.
Or the half head guys.
The bug creature is what I thought you were talking about. Honestly, I thought everything else looked fine. I thought the bug creature that fought him in the middle of the street looked kind of meh.
I thought their concept of hell was kind of interesting.
Loved it.
Like
it looked like
Earth at the end of the world.
The transition when he's telling her the story of how he cut his wrist and he's in the ambulance and he died, and then as soon as he died, it just washes over in fire and fucking dust and dirt everywhere. It's just like a smooth transition, and it's so cool. Like that is it's just great visual. It's great cinematography.
They actually based those visuals on old movies of the first atomic bomb tests.
Oh,
that makes sense.
I know that.
That's exactly what it looks like. That makes perfect sense. Yeah. Yeah, and I get it, right? Like the end of time, the end of the world concept, like hell takes over. So like that's a great visual. It's a great way to do it. It was interesting. Like, but yeah, it's very dated. It's very 2005.
But I mean, if you give it just a small allowance because it's old.
Oh, of course.
I mean, it's
like
good.
people who complain about the Star Wars special effects, and it's like, it was 1977, dude. Like, get over it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks amazing for 1977.
Vaseline under the camera lens. Come on, guy.
I love the concept of time and hell, because Constantine says, I spent 2 minutes in hell. That's a lifetime. So when he goes and checks on her sister in hell, let's see if she's in hell. And he goes there and look at the visuals, guys. Okay. Because, he says, I need you to leave the apartment.
Right. Time stops.
Doesn't stop.
It slows down.
It slows down because remember, 2 minutes in hell is like a fucking year, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he is only in hell for about half a second. Notice when she closes the door, it doesn't even close all the way before you hear him say, Isabel. And then she opens the door back up. She didn't even get the door closed. So he was literally in hell for what I guess would have been about, I don't even know time differentials in hell. I mean, I'm not that kind of mathematician, but like, by the time she barely got the door closed like this, and then opened it back up. Right. So that long.
What felt like a 5-minute scene of him in hell, which was probably longer because he was searching for her.
Wasn't even half a second.
Wasn't even a half a second on
exactly.
Right.
Yeah. Love that. I love that they said it earlier and then they backed it up.
And I also love they don't beat that over your head either.
No.
Right?
This movie doesn't need to hold your hand.
It doesn't at all, no.
This movie is what we like to call a ride. Right. It takes you on a journey and you learn things about the character as you go. You might not have known anything about John Constantine. I'm sure you guys didn't even read a Hellblazer comic beforehand, right?
No.
Okay. And you still really enjoyed the movie, right? You enjoyed the character of John Constantine.
Yeah.
You relate to John Constantine. Go ahead, John.
Well, I read them and I still like the movie though,
Do you think they picked Keanu Reeves because he was like the biggest star in 2005?
No. Keanu pitched for it. He wanted it.
Yeah?
He was in talks with DC when he was filming Matrix Revolutions and Reloaded, because they filmed them kind of back to back. He spent 18 months in Australia and he had flown back. They had wrapped filming on Revolutions. He flew back from Australia and that day, and then he got the call that day. And then he flew out to meet DC execs the next day. After an 18-month shoot, he was invested in this. So no, Keanu absolutely wanted this role, and he made it his.
I didn't know that.
Damn.
Yeah, I'll send you a link, Dave, if you want.
Sure. Do you think it's interesting? He's one of the only characters that has played 2 roles with a British accent, and he's gotten away with no accent.
Keanu, man, we look.
Who was
past
the other
it.
one?
Dracula. I can't think of those characters' names.
Oh,
Yeah.
I got you.
I just recently watched that.
John,
I just watched it like 3 days ago. You'd think I'd remember.
Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, that's an underrated movie too. Bram Stoker's Dracula. Seriously.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
With Commissioner Gordon. God, why can't I think of his name? He's also Harry's godfather. Come on, what's the actor's name, guys? Come on. He's been in like everything.
You can't ask me things this late at night.
I don't know.
Oh, great. Now now I gotta look it up. Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Well, it also had Hannibal Lecter in it too.
No, he wasn't. close.
Gary Oldman as Dracula.
That's right, Gary Oldman.
And then Anthony Hopkins as Van Helsing.
And Jonathan Ha is Keanu Reeves' character. So yeah.
And Winona Ryder.
Yep.
Yes.
My mom was obsessed with that movie.
I would be too. That shit's fantastic.
Isn't it supposed to be, the true to the book?
They take some liberties, but yeah,
Of course they do.
essentially, it is.
Except for the accents.
Yeah. Look past it, guys.
You get what you get.
So what do you guys want to see in the sequel that they're currently working on?
Yeah, I'm going to jump in here. I don't.
Yeah.
I'm kind of sad to hear there is a sequel, because this to me was like a really cool, maintained story. So I don't know. I mean, so I don't want to fuck it up.
Maybe, and this is just my thought. Like, we have new James Gunn's running shit now, right?
Yeah, that
maybe this, guys, is a bridge into the Dark Universe, right? Where we're going to get a revamped Swamp Thing and things like that. Wouldn't that be cool?
Well, that's my question too. Is this Keanu Reeves in the same universe as Henry Cavill and The Rock as Black Adam and Superman at this point?
That would be really interesting. That would make things
Why
super
not?
interesting.
From what I understand, when the DC universe ends, Constantine's still around.
They make reference to like superheroes in Constantine in like the beginning. I don't remember exactly, and like I think he makes an offhand remark like, but this is real. This is real stuff or whatever. But yeah, like so there is the idea that there is a broader universe in this movie already.
Yeah, I'm fine with it. I don't see any downside of setting up a dark universe at all. There's so many great characters that you can introduce that could potentially make you money. If they make money off of Black Adam, who was, he's a known character.
Oh my God, you say Swamp Thing and I think of the Green, and I'm like, is that a concept that average moviegoers are going to understand and get? Are they going to think this is too weird for me?
I mean, not for Swamp Thing movie 1.
True.
But
you talking about the Wes Craven directed one? You talking about the original Swamp Thing?
No,
movie?
you're talking about bringing them in. You're going to do an origin. You're not going to talk about the Green, right?
I mean, you could shy away from it or just merely mention it. I don't think you have to go and do a deep dive of an explanation of the Green.
I don't think you bring in the Green until you bring in the red. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah. I think it could be a cool bridging point. Why not? Fuck it. We're gonna try to connect these universes. Let's do it. Let's go balls in, guys.
I'm out of rum. Damn it.
Why is rum gone?
Why is the rum always
actually, the
gone?
bottle's over there. What was in my cup is empty. Yeah, John, I don't know. What do you think? I'm kind of with Don. I'm sad they're doing a sequel, but at the same time, I feel like maybe they're doing this to bring in the dark universe. What do you think?
Well, it'd be nice. I mean, that's a sure bet. If they wanted to start something that they could immediately be successful with, I mean, look at Justice League Dark. You bring Zatanna in there, Zatara, and you're on your way, basically.
I mean, fuck it. You know what? Your superhero movies failed. Well, I mean, they didn't financially fail. They made money, sure, but like fans really don't like these movies like that, right? They don't talk about them like they do the MCU movies. So fuck it. If your DC movies are failing in the fans' eyes, Dark. Tell those stories. It might bring in a different audience. Look at what the Suicide Squad did, right?
Yeah.
They completely changed, everything that was dark and murky about that, they kind of kept it in there, but it was different, right? And I think we need a little bit of something different here in DC.
Do you think that now that it's the Gunverse, that it's going to stay as dark as dark as it is?
No.
I know last show you guys were talking about Amanda Waller's like the DC's Nick Fury, which is like,
she's not
dark.
supposed to be, but yeah.
But here's the thing, like even the Suicide Squad and Peacemaker, which are dark characters,
they're dark
subjects.
humor. They're not really dark characters. They're dark humor.
That's what I'm saying.
Late, like, you
it's
fucking
not.
Dickheads.
It's not dark. Like James Gunn gets these characters. He gets the Guardians. He gets these characters, the Suicide Squad. So I have to think he gets Superman. He gets Batman. He's gonna know what to do with them. So yeah. I mean, then the idea of bringing in Keanu to tie the dark universe in, like, I think that works. I think, and I would not be shocked that isn't his plan, because I do think that this deal with him taking over was in works for weeks, if not months, before they announced it. And I think because it feels like they're fast tracking Superman, they're fast tracking this scene too. I feel like he's got a plan. He just hasn't revealed it yet.
We just hope that, again, like if they're going to be successful, they're going to have to be able to build a universe. And they can't do that if you fast track everything. If they've already found that out, you would hope they'd learn the lesson.
Are they going to be able to build this universe though?
See,
while they still have separate Batmans and shit and 3 Jokers.
So John, you say that?
You're right.
But have they really fast tracked anything? The most they've had is, I think, 2 movies in a year. And look, it took 8 years at least to get Black Adam made. Like, I don't feel like they're fast tracking anything. How many years have been waiting for this Flashpoint movie? Not that anyone cares anymore. Like, their problem is they're dragging their feet on everything.
But they can't. And I'm sure James Gunn is going to help them with this, because let's face it, Marvel is in a lull right now. Okay. And I think it's going to be like that until Fantastic Four, X-Men. Like, Quantumania, I'm excited about it. Kang, the Kang Dynasty, whatever, that's all cool and all. But if DC is going to catch up or not, or fuck catching up, like just run with the pack.
Fuck
this
that.
is when they need to hit
they need to run their own race, Don. They need to stop chasing Marvel and just run what they're going to do.
But now's the time. Well, we've got, and I know you guys enjoyed She-Hulk, and I was up and down with that. I'm sorry, that last finale was just fucking garbage. They overdid the fourth wall shit way too much.
Oh,
like
I loved it. I like. I'm sorry.
They overdid it, dude. Like, by the time Deadpool gets here and does it, no one's gonna give a fuck. Feige,
you know what?
Are you fucking kidding me?
You know what? I take back I love you. I love you.
That's okay. I'm okay with that. I'll bring you around some other time.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, no. DC's got to strike now. The iron is hot.
Yes,
they got to strike.
I totally agree with that sentiment, though. Right, like this is their time when there's a lull and people are starting to have Marvel fatigue. Jump in like with stuff that's going to get people excited, and don't announce stuff until you have a script and a director and the actors assigned. Like that's their other problem. DC sits there and goes, "Yeah, we're going to make this movie and we're going to make that movie," and then it never happens. Like, no, announce stuff when you know it's going to be made. And I think James Gunn is going to get stuff done. He knows how to get movies made.
I don't think that when DC appointed James Gunn, I don't think that was a Warner Discovery move. I think that was DC saying, "You're the man now." Because I don't think that DC Warner Brothers would approve it.
I honestly think that's Discovery going, "You people running DC films don't know what you're doing." James Gunn, people love the Suicide Squad and
Peacemaker.
Like, you've got the job. Like, I really feel like that's
they
what
probably
that was.
begged him to do it.
Yeah.
See, I don't think so, because I remember on this very show, I said that I think James Gunn is always going to feel scorned by Marvel, and I think DC is going to scoop him up somehow, and he's going to put it in their face. And I know you also predicted, Dave.
I was about to say, I'd like to point out on this very show, I said, well, if they need a Kevin Feige, I think they should give it to James Gunn. And both John and JD said, I don't think he's going to do that.
Well, he did.
Money talks, bullshit walks. Boys. Who else were they going to get to do it?
I would also like to say, I think that 200,000 people should start listening to our show every week.
Right. So they know this shit.
Right. Exactly. I'm a
We're ahead of the curves. Superhero ahead of the curve speak.
I also called Maslany, what's her name? She-Hulk.
Maslany. Yeah.
Tatiana Maslany.
That's it.
Tatiana, yeah.
Tatiana Maslany. I called her playing She-Hulk, and I said it would be a show about identity and confidence. You know what? If you're not listening to the show every week, you're missing out on vital future information.
I say it all the time on Twitter. I say that this is called second chance speak, because we like to give people with failed careers, David fucking Goyer, by the way, you're welcome.
Oh my God.
Okay. We speak things into existence here. Okay. So
John,
be sure to pick up your copy of Hulk Hollow. He's running a Kickstarter right now. It's JD.
John, your hatred of they used the John Williams theme when they brought Superman back.
Yes, I know.
See?
I was very happy.
That in itself, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, should tell you Snyderverse is not coming back. Just by the way,
true. That's true.
I totally agree. That he did the spit curl and did the Williams theme, and he picked.
It was
the
a rendition. It was a
Cavill
rendition.
said, "I want the red and blue. I don't want the black costume." Like he picked that costume. So I'm sorry. He wants to do a cheerful, happy Superman. He doesn't want to work with Snyder again.
Of course, kids are a lot happier when they get to pick their costume before they go trick or treating, right?
Oh, true.
And they take it off and make you fucking carry it 15 minutes into the ordeal. We've been going to a lot of trunk or treats, ladies and gentlemen.
You're gonna be a ghost. Go cut a hole in the sheet.
You know what? Okay, you have young kids, Don. I just need to know, like, trunk or treats, like, it doesn't have the same feel as actually trick or treating, right? Like,
no, it's a joke.
No, not at all. But I appreciate the swiftness of it.
Okay, I'll give you that.
So when COVID was running rampant on Halloween, we went trick or treating, right? It was a drive-through trick or treat. They had grab claws with the candy, and they'd hand them into your car because of the social distancing and whatnot.
Yeah,
drive through. So the kid put on her costume and sat in the car.
Not the same. Oh,
and then trunk or treating, you just go to people's cars and go, I like walking around the neighborhood. Okay? Yeah. I like causing chaos. I like fucking people's yards up. Well, that was me as a kid.
Yeah, this year will be our first year since COVID. I play King Herod in a live nativity, and it's been a drive-through for like the past 3 years. So this year, it's actually a walkthrough. We built a little village, and it's just way cooler.
It's awesome.
I'll be going walking around with my granddaughters. Tomorrow is Halloween as we're recording this on the 30th.
Yes.
You know, it's like, yeah, that trunk or treat stuff. We were just like, no, let's real Halloween. Come on. Let's teach them how to beg door to door. That's the important thing in life.
So many places, right? But so many places do those trunk or treats. Like my kids just get so much fucking candy before Halloween even hits.
Yeah.
Well, I get
That's
it.
the other thing. They don't do them on Halloween either.
No, they do them like the weekend prior and all kinds of stuff. Like my other kid in North Carolina, she just went to a trunk or treat last night. Like, wait for Halloween. Go to the rich people neighborhood where they give out dollar bills.
I mean, if you go to John's house, you get bourbon.
It's true. You get shots.
I give out full size candy too.
Oh.
Yeah, I've contemplated going out to Amish country. And take people.
Yes. Everyone should go to Amish country on Halloween, find John's house, get full-size candy bars, and if you're an adult, a shot of bourbon. I'm not going to imply you're giving kids a shot of bourbon.
Well, the neighbors across the street, they bring out a couple of bottles of wine. So
there you
Hell
go.
Yeah, you got the best neighbors. But
pretty much.
But trunk or treating around where I live, because I live in the middle of God's nowhere. So trunk or treating around here is kind of the thing, unless you go to some of the different communities around the lake or whatever. But
yeah,
unfortunately, that's the way it is. When I lived in Baltimore, dude, you could go to like 20 different neighborhoods and just get bags and bags and bags fill it up. But not around here.
So I think what we're saying is take your kids actual trick-or-treating and then watch Constantine on Halloween. That is the perfect Halloween.
Not really. That's not the perfect Halloween, but it'll do.
All right. Okay. Watch Werewolf by Night then.
Watch Constantine.
Oh, okay.
Hold on. Old Man Grady, which one is better? Werewolf by Night or Constantine? I got to know.
Wow. It's like Sophie's Choice. Which was actually a better movie than both of those. I don't know. Like I had fun. I can actually say that I actually have fun watching them both. I don't know. I mean, I give them the pretty much the same score. Maybe Werewolf by Night is slightly higher, but only because
I knew you were going to say it, John. I knew it.
But only slightly, you know, it's like almost imperceptible.
It's completely different movies too, if you think about that. Like
true, yeah.
All right. Well, we're not gonna. You know what? I don't want to score old movies. It's out there. People know it exists. We don't have to convince people to go watch it.
It is worth watching, though.
It is. I was gonna say, any final thoughts? I just say, yeah, it's worth watching. If you've never seen it, you've got HBO Max. Put it on. You know, it's a good 2 hours.
I think the Blu-ray was on sale for like $4. So go pick it up on Amazon or something like that.
Can't go wrong.
Anybody got
my only problem with watching this movie on HBO Max was, I pay for the HBO Max subscription, and I'm not the only person in the world that's complained about this. I know, but I'm just saying. I watched the movie, and I swear to God, at the most dramatic parts, it cuts to ads, and I just don't understand why the fuck I'm watching a movie on a streaming service that I pay for.
Ads on HBO Max?
Yeah,
I don't.
Unless I hit some super secret, but I pay for it. I pay full price for it. I watch this fucking movie.
I don't even pay for it because I'm one of those weirdos that still has.
I'm sorry.
I'm one of those weirdos that still has cable. So since I have it on my cable, I get to watch HBO Max for free. I just use my Comcast login to for HBO Max, and they don't put ads on there.
Oh,
so.
I pay for the higher. There's tiers, I think, right?
Okay, I must pay for the ad tier. I thought that was
just Hulu. Do they do that on HBO Max?
I don't.
They do, man. I'm telling you. And with this movie specifically, like every dramatic part where it's like ad.
No, HBO ads on HBO Max. With ads, you'll see ads before and during select shows and movies. Ad free, stream all the HBO Max with ads.
I didn't see any ads. So either get cable, and that way you get the highest tier, or just pay for the highest tier.
I get no commercials during House of the Dragon, but Constantine.
Yeah,
because they know where the money's at, buddy.
I think
the money is in Constantine.
I would have screamed at my TV if there was commercials.
Have you seen House of the Dragon?
No.
You got to. It's fucking awesome.
After Halloween, I'm good. Look, I have to cram in so many horror movies.
I didn't watch Game of Thrones. I watched the first season, and I was
good.
Out.
Fuck it. Don't worry about it. Watch this one. It's better. I'm telling you, it's way better.
What about Rings of Power?
Better than the first 4 seasons of Game of Thrones? You're telling me that right now? It's better than the first 4 seasons of Game of Thrones?
Yes.
Get the fuck out of here.
I've heard that though. I've heard
Rings
like
of Power is fucking awesome. Yes,
Rings of Power?
absolutely.
I thought we were talking about House of the Dragon.
No.
Both
I'm
of
just
them.
asking.
Both of them.
I watched Rings of Power.
Yeah, it's great.
It was a good nap.
Okay, which is better, Rings of Power?
You motherfucker!
Oh!
How dare you? I like you a lot, 8-Bit Ray, but
Oh my God!
Okay, Don.
Okay,
Your turn for Sophie's choice. 8-Bit. I'm sorry. House of Dragon or Rings of Power?
oh, that's really tough. I mean,
I told you.
Rings of
I'm
Power.
sorry, Rings of Power. I'm a Tolkien head, I guess. Maybe I don't. They're both fucking, and it's a hard choice.
I haven't even seen
Really, and House of Dragon has nudity, right?
I haven't even seen. House
No,
of the
that's
Dragon.
the beauty. I mean, yes, there's nudity, but that's the beauty. This House of Dragon show, it does not go crazy with it like Game of Thrones did.
Fuck yeah!
And
incest.
honestly, I think you see more man butt than anything.
Oh, well, then I got to go watch it.
So,
Well, you might as well go watch Bridgerton then.
So
in
this
that
is a
case.
family-friendly show, right? Okay.
Yeah, and again, other than them
incest.
passing wyverns off as dragons, it's fucking great. The dragons are awesome.
So okay,
That
so
show.
here it is, Don. I haven't even seen one episode of House of the Dragon, but I'm going to say
Okay.
it's better than Rings of Power.
Ooh.
How about that? Rings of Power was a struggle, dude. I wanted to get it done because
The first
I love Lord of the
episode, I
Rings.
will agree. The first episode, I will agree. But once, I don't know. Okay,
Too long.
I don't know, man. Because my wife doesn't. My wife has never even read Tolkien, and she loves that show.
When you have like 10 or 12 different storylines going on, it's just bleh, and characters I don't give a shit about the whole time. Dude, it's a struggle.
Have you ever wondered how Mordor was created?
Yeah, I know how Mordor was created. Thank
Okay,
you. I watched
okay.
the shitty show.
Oh boy, I don't like you talking about that.
It had good aspects, okay. It had good aspects, but it's not for me. It's not my niche. And I love Lord of the Rings, not so much The Hobbit, but I love Lord of the Rings. But this is just it was just I couldn't.
It is a very slow burn, but
slow. I've seen corpses fuck faster than this story movie.
I'm just okay.
All right,
I don't know.
let's
Speaking of Henry Cavill, Enola Holmes 2 is coming out, and Henry Cavill's in that too.
What? All right, let's
Rum
put a pin in this
kicked
because this is getting way out of hand. All right,
Hold on, the
so
rum
let's-
kicked in. John, did you bang her?
Let's.
Oh boy,
Approaching
approaching 11 p.m. here on the East Coast.
First date.
That's a yup.
Nothing happened.
That's a
goddammit.
yup. That's at least a handy.
No.
Something.
All right.
No,
Danger,
All right,
danger.
John.
I am nowhere near. No.
Did you kiss her?
Just again.
Where did you kiss her?
No. Just no.
None?
No.
No? You're not that drunk.
I'm that is not.
All right, we're
how
gonna
I
try.
operate.
All right, we're gonna try again.
So
next
my
week,
first date with Karen, she drove, so she was dropping me off, and we at the end of the date we kissed sitting in her car, and she said, and I'll never forget, she looked at me, and we kissed for like a minute, and then she's like, "Okay, get out of my car."
Damn.
And because hold on, she tells me that's when she fell in love with me because she knew she loved the way I kissed, and she knew if I stayed in that car, it wouldn't have been on the third date. It would have been right there.
It'd have been in the back seat. We'd have called you backseat Dave.
Exactly. So,
oh my God, you're that good, Dave?
I am that good, but I'm taking ladies. I'm sorry. All right, let's.
I am single as the fuck, and I ain't ever had that done before. Kissing for a minute? Who does that?
Let's go around and say, anyone got any recommendations or what did you learn on the podcast this week? And let's start with our good friend Don.
I learned that 8-Bit Ray doesn't fucking like Rings of Power, and that bugs me
Shitty
probably
fucking
way
show.
more than it should.
It's shitty. It's so slow. It's like slower than the fucking trees walking.
I see we're continuing our streak of episodes where people just horribly disagree with each
Well, if
other.
anybody that's been listening to this show for a long time remembers that me and Don were originally enemies.
Oh,
We started off as Twitter enemies, and then we brought the beef to the show. And I think that was the first time I was actually on the show. And we brought that beef, and we argued for about a good hour and a half, almost, man.
On the
X-Men.
Yes,
Jonathan Hickman.
Oh, you regret that, don't you?
You had better foresight than I had, I will admit. I did not know he was going to shit the bed.
Like,
All right, you have any recommendations?
Like Rings of Power. Got it. Go.
You have any recommendations besides Rings of Power?
Yeah, the House of the Dragon. I really do. As a person, yes, I liked Game of Thrones, although I will say it was very hard to get through the first season of Game of Thrones because I'm not a tits and ass just for tits and ass kind of guy. I'm really not. So that it was tough for me. But this show it's just way better. It's not so much of that, and it's just really cool to get into the dragons and Targaryens and see how some of this shit went down. So that's going to be my other recommendation, House of Dragon. Don't let season 8 Game of Thrones, which I really didn't think was that bad. People are just mad that they thought the heroine became a villain. But anyway, House of Dragon, watch it. It's great.
All right, Ray?
I learned that Don watched Rings of Power and liked it
a lot.
And that mentally disturbs me. And yeah, but what I recommend is that you guys go to superherospeak.com where you can find reviews. Someone better than me. Yeah, sorry about that. Be sure to check out the Omega Level Nerds podcast on YouTube.
Yeah.
No.
How about the 8 Gorilla Brain?
Yeah, Gorilla Brain podcast available on all podcasting apps out there. I'm available on Twitch. I am available on TikTok where I am God. Okay, now moving on. Now, what I recommend is that you guys go and check out the Hellblazer. Just go and get a random Hellblazer comic because it was written by so many amazing writers and it has such great artists. Tim Bradstreet art is immaculate. But you got writers like Jamie Delano, Neil Gaiman even came in for a couple issues. Garth Ennis. I mean,
yeah, you can't beat that.
Warren Ellis. I mean, so many amazing writers have come in to write Hellblazer. I think Grant Morrison was even there for a minute. Like, so many amazing writers. So just find a random trade. And one I would recommend would be Dangerous Habits. I think that's the Garth Ennis story. And that's one of my favorites because that's the diagnosis of cancer in his lungs. And as a smoker, I feel that shit. You relate to John on a lot of levels. Not that I'm going to trick the devil, but since Jamie Delano's first 12-issue run, where you're introduced to Constantine's world, the underworld, Papa Midnight. I mean, just so many different things.
Oh, Papa Midnight. That's a great character.
Is amazing character, and they shot him so well in the movie. Like, did you see the angles that they used? They didn't show his face directly. That is out of the comics, guys. Out of the comics. Like, they didn't really show Papa Midnight's face like that, but they did eventually. But anyway, go and read the comics, guys. Grab a graphic novel. It's amazing. It's only 300 issues, guys. Come on, it's the longest running Vertigo title for a reason.
Yeah.
It beat out Changeling and Animal Boy and Swamp Thing and all the other crazy shit that they were throwing on Vertigo. 300 issues, magical issues, and they wrapped it up so good. Not going to spoil it for you, but just go check it out. You don't have to go collect 300 issues, but there's a lot of good stories in there. Now, send me my check, DC.
John?
They don't have any money. You've heard, right?
Then give me some stock. It ain't worth nothing.
Yeah. True. My recommendations are going to be Enola Holmes 2. It's coming out this Friday. Like, I don't think I have to see it to actually recommend it because the first one was just that freaking good.
Is Calvin returning as a
yes,
Holmes?
And he's going to be in it more this time around.
Okay.
So, which is going to be great to see the interaction between him and Millie Bobby Brown. They're both really good actors. My other suggestion is on High Dive. There's Reincarnated as a Sword. I'm going to recommend that again, second week in a row, because it is just that freaking good.
Too many reincarnated cartoons in the anime.
Yep. And one more soft recommendation.
Chainsaw Man.
Yes, I have to recommend that too. Like that's
two
that's
episodes available right now, guys, over on Crunchyroll.
And
send me my money.
And I know we're releasing this on Wednesday. So on Wednesday, when you listen to this, if the Powerball hasn't been won, then it's probably $1.5 billion and you should probably get a ticket. Right now it's at 1 billion. So
wait, it is?
Yeah. Powerball's at $1 billion.
I know what I'm doing after I get off of here.
I already got mine.
I've got 20 tickets. So,
oh my God, I'm going to need 100 tickets. All right.
You'll know when I win because, you're all going to get all your houses and cars paid off.
Oh, wow. See, you'll know when I win because I'll just disappear. All right.
I thought that was when your girlfriend gets mad. So when Dave disappears, we know they had an argument because he won the lottery and wouldn't share it.
I will recommend that you go to superherospeak.com where you can find the podcast.
Yep, that's right, Dave.
Comic book reviews by our good friend Chris and rants by yours truly. And a bunch of other stuff. So go check it out. I'm also going to recommend Chris Lorenz, our new comic book reviewer, has released a book on Amazon, Night Brings Night. Go check it out. It's $15. That's pretty good. So yeah, he's a writer on top of, doing reviews for us. That's kind of why he's doing it. So yeah, go check him out. I don't have any other recommendations this week other than that.
I do.
Oh,
and one more.
Another one?
Be sure to go support JD's Kickstarter for Hulk Hollow.
It's over.
It's over?
Yeah, it ended last week.
Fuck him.
He got I think it was 200%.
I tried, JD. I tried.
He did 200% of his goal, so he did well.
Well, then go listen to my episode with JD over on the Gorilla Brain podcast. Do that. Just search it up, and it's a great 2-hour discussion.
I would have mentioned it, but yeah, it ended last week. So
favorite him on Kickstarter, because when he comes out with another one, and he will, you have the chance of getting
how many
killed.
ways can he kill John?
Yes.
It's the O'Grady-verse at this
1,000
point.
ways to kill John. Yeah.
It's the O'Grady-verse. You created the O'Grady-verse. Are you happy?
I am very happy.
So you're essentially like the Molecule Man. You're in every universe in his books. You're John O'Grady.
He's killed in every
He's
one.
killed me 5 times so far.
Wow, the same character or different characters, like different names, or is it?
He's
It's the same name, but he's a different character.
Well, no,
That's
one guy he killed in ancient Japan, and he used the Japanese translation for my name. So
nice.
Yes, but yes, every other time he's John O'Grady.
That's motivation. That's motivation to write a book right there. Kill John.
I died horribly. That the problem is that he has to keep coming up with a better way to
He
kill
said
me.
that this is the best one so far too. So
did he ever drop like an anvil on you, like Looney Tunes you?
I'm still getting to all the I'm still reading through all his books.
JD, there's an idea. Looney Tunes him.
Yeah, Looney Tunes. But drop a piano on me. Yeah.
There it is.
All right. Well, on that note,
while it's playing the Piano Man,
as always, thanks for listening. Don't let you keep caught in the door. Have a good week.